we are here. We're live on the internets. Good morning. It's afternoon for all you guys. It's like 9 a.m. for me over here. I woke up early. I got the coffee going. There's birds chirping outside. But I am hype. I'm so excited for this, you guys.
Oh, I just can't wait for this. God, I can't wait to play an animal. Just a little animal. Just cannot wait.
Yeah, so this is cool. We got a couple of friends, new friends that I'm just meeting today. But we should probably go around and introduce ourselves before we get into hijinks and shenanigans, right? This seems most appropriate. So for anybody out there who does not know me, I'm DMFilly. I'm Rich Filiberto. I'm hanging out over here in the mean streets of the internet and playing role-playing games with my friends. That's basically my deal. Twitch TV/DMFilly. You can catch me over there. Most of the week I do some podcasting and post-show recaps. They are my friends. They're here in Legion this morning. Thank you, friends. And that's my deal. What about the rest of y'all?
My name is Rob. For Aidan and Chris, I'm sure the chat knows now at this stage, but I got drunk last week and purchased £160 worth of laser tag equipment. So, best decision I ever made in my life.
Lockdown does strange things to everybody.
Oh, it does. It does. Drunk shopping. I cannot recommend it enough.
Oh, it's great. Trust me, I know. Been there. Speaking of the Fizzlekins, also not to confuse everybody with yet another Josh, but also a Josh. So apparently we got too many of those on this channel, but it's there.
We can never have too many Joshes.
And I pretty much see all you guys in chat all the time, so.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, I'm excited to play with you, man. We just met last night at that Rebel DM panel, and it was a great conversation. I really, like Joe was saying, but I walked away from it so high. I'm like, it was great. It was great just to hang out and talk shop, I love it. So it's a pleasure to have you here at the table.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Go, Aidan. Go.
Yeah, I suppose I'll go next. I'm Aidan. Just to keep up the Irish contingent on this call as well, we needed to Irish it up a bit.
We don't know each other. We
don't. Though
we
do
haven't
know.
investigated whether we do know each other yet.
At one point. I play with Philly quite often on the post-show recaps Discord, doing all sorts of bizarre and wonderful adventures with a lot of bizarre and wonderful people that I'm absolutely loving. And yeah, I cannot wait to delve into this. This is going to just be manic fun, I think.
Going to be a blast. How about you down there, Chris?
Hello, I'm Chris. My name is Christopher Dukes. I'm a presenter. I used to work with Asmodee Live and on their Twitch channel. I'm mainly a DM myself. I've recently picked up the Kickstarter for the new Deadlands series, and so I'm getting my crew together to finally start playing that.
You get it in?
Say again?
Your books come in yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Nice. So yeah, psyched to play that, and yeah, just anything roleplay is just grand fun. Yeah.
Nice. And I'm Joe, also known as Sabotage the DM. And I just want to say to all of you on this table here, I'm so glad that you could be here on our anniversary week. As this is day 5? Yes,
yeah,
day 5.
You're in the fugue state now,
days.
Yeah.
Of 7 days of Sabotage. And I'm really looking forward to try and find an animal that I can kill Rob with. So
all of them?
Awesome.
All of them. I'm hoping that I could be a fox and he'll be a rat. That'll be.
Oh
yeah, that would be
poignant. It's a good game because I am on a different wavelength. If I'm meant to be killing y'all,
we'll see what happens.
Or give me the frog, or give me the spider. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, right. Where's the scorpion?
Myself and Joe.
Are we all supposed to be on the same team here?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've heard that before.
Hasn't stopped me yet.
Yeah, I've played a good deal with Aidan. The rest of you, it's all pretty new. Joe and Rob and I, we played together City of Mist on Monday, and that was also supposed to be a team game until it wasn't, So I'm ready for anything
Rob.
here.
Until Rob.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Until Rob. I mean,
DM baby, I live it.
I feel like the laser tag may have influenced things, but I'm new to playing with Rob, so I might be being very. So yeah, the gist of what we're doing today, I have this really cool one-page RPG called The Witch is Dead. There's a lot of one-page RPGs out there, and they're exactly what they sound like, right? A front page of a kind of simple sheet of paper. We got all the rules we need to play the game, to make the characters, right? And so the gist of The Witch is Dead, here's the little intro they give you. So I will read said intro to help immerse the audience a little bit in what we're about to do. The Witch is Dead, an RPG about murder. Once upon a time, there was a kind and wise and beautiful witch who lived in the forest with her familiars, and her life was peaceful and happy until a fucking witch hunter broke into her cottage and dragged her out and fucking murdered her, and now she's dead. But if you get revenge and kill him and bring his eyes to her corpse within a week, she'll come back to life. Or so you've heard, and even if it doesn't work, at least he's dead. That's the game, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to roll some dice. We have no idea what these good folks are going to play. Each one of them is going to roll a 10-sided die, and the die is essentially going to determine what kind of familiar they are. Each one of them gets a spell from the witch, so they're going to be an animal with a little magic spell, and that's the gist of it. From here, we do a little more rolling to figure out what's up with the village and the witch hunter, and then game on. So we'll take a couple of minutes here, and we'll get our characters figured out, and then we're into it. And I have no idea what's going to happen. So, who wants to start? Who's going to grab the 10-sided?
Well, actually, just a quick one. I actually thought we were meant to do this beforehand, so I've actually already rolled mine. Now, I'm happy to re-roll if you want.
Controversial.
Well,
I
yeah,
can-
I can roll in D20, so everyone can see it.
Let's see what the chat. What does the
What
chat?
does the
think?
chat want us to do?
Let's
Yeah,
roll again?
I mean, I figured we had to like lean into the chaos of it, of like the improbability. I know Aidan was like begging me, like, do we know what we're playing? Because I need an accent.
Yeah.
Roll it, roll.
But-
Coming up.
You just showed up to like an improv session dressed as Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I get dressed up either. I actually have a bird costume. I can just like, bam, it's fucking legal now. But also it's on an object, but still.
Or you show up as a crow who's dressed up as a fox.
So yeah, so it looks as if the whole chat wants you to roll it.
Okay,
by
so
the
I
looks
think
of things.
chaos reigns.
So I got a
Oh,
10.
Chris has rolled a 10. You're going to be a rat.
Oh, man. This ruins everything.
It does ruin everything.
I'm curious.
The idea here is
What-
each animal has like 4 stats: clever, fierce, sly, and quick, right? So yeah, Chris is going to be playing as the rat. I dig it. Okay.
Right, I'm going in.
Do it. Ooh, the 1.
Oh, no,
all
it's a
right.
one.
One. Foxy.
The
Oh, the
fox.
fuck.
Fox.
My ginger beard is coming in handy.
There you go.
All right, I'm gonna give it a go then, and I'll see what I come up with. Or 5.
Owl.
Owl.
The
That
owl.
seems right. That seems right.
Checks out. 7. Magpie.
The magpie is in.
Okay. And let's roll. 9. I'm a dog, baby.
Nice.
The Fox and the Hound.
That is one of the saddest Disney movies that was ever
Oh
made.
yeah, it's a heavy one. I'm just tweaking out the OBS here. So what'd you get? You got the dog, Rob? Okay, cool.
And do you want us to roll a spell as
Yeah,
well?
we're gonna. Which one did you get, Joe? I missed you.
Oh, I got an owl.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, and from here, I'm gonna have each of you roll another 10-sided. And we're going to figure out what spell each one of you has. And you can take your little notes here however you see fit.
Okay, I'm going for it. 3. That is Speak Human.
This is
A
huge.
dog that speaks human.
That's
every dog
actually a
owner's
good one to
dream.
have.
Squirrel.
So I'm the bard of the group. is what you're saying.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, at least a face. You don't have to be
We're
the
all
bard.
fucked.
You can go talk to the humans for us.
Ooh,
I know what I
Aidan.
got, but I'm not saying. I want this to be surprise.
Oh, fair enough. That's cool. We can keep the spells secret if you would like. You're welcome to reveal them or not.
All right, let me see what I got.
Well,
I got conjure dinner. Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Oh,
I'm
good.
really happy with that.
Nice. The owl who can conjure dinner.
Mice falling from the sky.
Oh God.
I
disturb
love
the
it.
one rat in the group.
I just
I
saw
love
Chris
it.
rolls.
The rat got tidy, clean, and mend.
I love
A
it.
really clean rat.
Yeah. I
We don't
don't
play the
like
type around here.
sewers.
You guys had the sleekest coat ever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's beautiful, is what he is.
So we got a couple of secret spells. We got conjure dinner. We got speak human. Do the rest of you guys? You got your magics figured out?
Yeah, distract and fuse.
All right. Cool.
I might as well say mine. I got plant growth, and I'm trying to figure out how that's come to.
Oh yeah, you got
what kind of plants I'm going to
you
grow.
got a lot of options there.
I got tidy, clean, and mend.
Oh,
He's a clean.
he is fastidious, one might say. I've heard that rats are just that more than once. Okay, cool. So we got the fox, the owl, the magpie, the dog, and the rat. They each have a few tricks handed down to them from their beautiful murdered witch that they will use in their quest of revenge. Now the trouble is the witch hunter has retreated to the village. Fucking coward. Let's get him. So what's up with the village? I'll roll twice here to see what the deal is with the village. The village is built around a wizard college and devoutly religious. Okay. Got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's gonna be a cakewalk.
All right. I wonder if they approve of said wizard college they're built around or not.
That's the question.
Also,
That's
what's
the question.
a witch hunter hanging around a wizard college is okay.
I mean, yeah, I
I
guess.
think that's what they used to warn us about with white vans as children.
But we do know from Terry Pratchett though that wizards and witches do not particularly get along. We do know this to
True.
be
Yeah.
true.
True.
So you know who hired the witch hunter,
And
Terry Pratchett.
or what the witch hunter was. The witch hunter may have been a wizard.
and the witch hunter himself is headstrong and wild. Okay. These are good character traits that I can totally personally relate to, so this is going to be effective. And now I'm supposed to roll a secret 10-sided here to determine what exactly is going on. What's the twist, right? So I will take this here magical 10-sided and roll it, and let's not tell anybody what's going on here. Oh my god. Okay, the big twist. Okay. Got it.
What's the twist?
With the twist. So, I think that I'm going to ask you all, or one of you, why don't you tell me, what does the witch's cottage look like as the scene opens up and the camera like comes in and we see the witch's cottage? Where is it? What does it look like?
I'm seeing it as like a big hollowed out tree that's fallen.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so I think that the camera like drops into the forest and we see this massive tumbled tree hollowed out, the kind of knot on the edge of it with this sort of like rustic, twisted, weird magical door kind of plugged in, arcane runes traced around the edges, the old kind of like copper hinges, oxidized green, right, moss growing up around the sides of it. And I think that the camera comes in deep into the forest, kind of weaving between the trees, pulling in closer to this strange woodland deadfall cottage. And I think we see much akin to images we've seen before. The witch lays flat on her back in a pool of her own blood, as you're all tiny animals, and I don't know that you've been able to move her very effectively since the night of the crime. And you know, dawn rises in the east, the kind of light streaming through the wood, like cascading through the kind of mist and the fog, cloying to the morning dew in the ground. And we see the assemblage of the five of you: fox and dog, owl and rat and magpie. And so I ask you, friends, what's the conversation here that we step into?
Come on, wake up! You can wake up. Flitting around on her back and the head. Just come on, wake up!
And Fetch, who's the dog,
Good.
is waiting attentively as there's a stick in the witch's hand that he's expecting to be thrown, and he's sitting down eagerly looking at the stick.
Also, for a name real fast, I have to shout out some of the pirate game, and the magpie is Flapton.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to picture this tiny, wiry, horrible, urban-like fox, because I live in a city and foxes aren't majestic where I'm from. They're wiry little verminy things. And he's just going to be constantly scritching himself, which is how he got his name Scritch, and go, "Here, wake up! Wake up! Wake up!"
Dublin Fox.
North side Dublin Fox.
I think carry on.
No, I was gonna say the rat sort of scampers up onto her forehead and kind of lifts the eyelid to see. She's just sleeping. She's definitely just sleeping.
Oh, yeah, we see your little rat paw pull the eyelid back, and that milky, cold, like a foggy, dead eye stares back at you. You've seen dead things before, rat. You've probably eaten them.
Well,
And I think sitting over on a windowsill, this kind of head kind of turns 360. And she looks down at the rat and she goes, "Oi, dinner! Get off the witch!"
oh. Is that my name now? Dinner.
As you see, Banapan the owl, sort of look down towards you all, and there's just these huge eyes.
Fantastic. So the gist of things here is that when you try to do something, you're going to roll a d10, and we're going to add your most relevant stat. Again, you have these 4 stats: clever, fierce, sly, and quick, right? I'll tell you what the difficulty is, the number you need to beat. If the task is dangerous, you gain a point of danger if you fail. And when you make these rolls, if you ever roll equal to or underneath this danger score you have, you're in serious trouble. Dead, trapped, lost, or captured. Using magic is always dangerous. So I won't use any dice. I force you to roll, and your rolls determine what happens here. And this is our note. Remember, most tasks that are normal to humans are really difficult for animals unless they've been broken down into smaller steps. You don't have opposable thumbs, and all you know of the human world is whatever this witch taught you. You could talk to other animals of the same type or similar species, and this is important. You can lower your danger by solving or running away from your problems. Love running away from problems. Yep. So I think that the 5 of you now here outside the cottage, you realize your beloved witch is dead. That bastard witch hunter has killed her. You've heard the rumors. You need his eyes. You need to rip them from his head and bring them back to her corpse. He's in the damned village of the wizards, the wizard college, and I believe that their fervent religion is tied to the fact that they worship these wizards. I think that the wizards are both wizards and clerics. That's why they have this college, right? They're training to be indoctrinated into their hierarchical ways. So I asked a lot of you, how do you want to proceed here? What do you want to do?
The wiry fox will look up to the owl and go, "Which way? Oi, which way did he go? We need his eyes. I'm going to rip out his eyes."
Yeah. How we get there? North? West?
And he sort of turns her head back around towards the horizon, and she just says, "Open space," which for her means kind of the opening of the forest as it kind of goes out into the plains. I think that's what she kind of means by it.
Open space.
Walkies? Let's go walking.
Oh, love you, Rob.
And she gets flies. Sort of like confused by walkies as he tries to kind of hop down, and obviously walking is like this for an owl. She kind of comes over.
I don't even walk. It's always flip there. They go, how do you walk?
Open space is dangerous. I don't like going into open spaces. Can we go by a shrub or a bush or a hedge? No.
And he kind of looks over. It's like, sir, is it Scratch? Is that name? Scritch. And she's like, Squitch.
Yeah.
Grow some balls. We've got a job to do. And she sort of like becomes this kind of like sort of character. We need to get his eyes.
Yeah, we'll get his eyes. Yeah, rip him out and eat him.
That's
Can't eat
something.
Give to witch. Give to witch.
Oh, wait, this is much better. Hold on.
Messing with the
There we go.
Little dinner. I'm calling him dinner. Jumps off the forehead. He's, oh bloody hell! And starts running. You see him sort of run off into roughly the direction that the owl pointed / hooted.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that Dinner the rat, certainly, you're probably a little more confident, like moving into these urban spaces than perhaps your compatriots. You're a rat, you're able to exist and thrive in the kind of crevices and the corners of like this terrible human village of religious wizards. And so I think with Dinner in the lead, and what's our owl's name? Banapan?
Banapan,
okay.
yeah.
And Banapan, you see Dinner begin, kind of burst off through the woods, leading the way, the group of you, I guess, begin to proceed after, and I think that the camera takes in the ensemble, the five of you ambling and flying and skittering your way towards town, with one just lingering mournful shot of your dead witch laying before the quaint cottage that is home. And so I guess as you guys come to the edge of the woodland, we see the long kind of the rolling hills and the village sitting, as it were, its short stone wall sort of surrounding it. Of course, if there's a wizard college, so there's an ominous dark tower kind of wreathed in ivy that sort of stands jutting up into the sky, this human construction and possibly larger than anything you all could imagine fabricating. Yep.
Big buildings usually have a lot of rubbish bins. It's good. So after we get the eyes, and I think we should have a look at the bins around, cause food.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, fetch food, really good food.
And Fletcher's tail is wagging furiously now, causing the bush that he's leaning against to shake with it, creating a gentle rustling sound that is somehow ominous.
I think as you're all kind of lingering here, you could see that there's people milling about over near the village, as it were. And I think probably overwhelming the rustling, ominous sound of the tail slapping into the bush, we hear the crunching of undergrowth and the snapping of twigs as the lot of you turn, your eyes all kind of darting in unison to the right, your preternatural animal instincts kicking in. And I think that we see a pair of humans, kind of a man and a woman striding out along a forest path not so far off to your right. The man holding I think he's got a stringer of dead rabbits over his shoulder and a crossbow slung under one arm, and next to him is this younger woman oh papa, thank you so much for taking me into the forest and teaching me. I know that Mama doesn't like it, but I'm going to be a hunter just like you someday. I'll get out there and we'll shoot all the critters, all the beasties. We'll shoot the squirrels. We'll shoot the rabbits. We'll shoot the birds out of the sky, and we'll never have a hungry night again. Oh, you're such a lovely papa. And he's like, oh, yes, that's right, Norris. Come now. We've to make the town. It's a big day. The fellow celebrations are happening. The holy days. Come, come, we mustn't linger. These rabbits will fetch us a good coin once we make it to market. And they like kind of stride off down this path you see kind of leading up the hills into the village.
Fetch is gonna bolt.
Oh god.
Oh
Wow.
boy!
Here we fucking
Here we
go.
go.
Yes.
Let's like
I'll
chaos
talk to
rage.
you. I'll be like,
Lock and load.
should we eat the kid's eyes
Leroy!
too? Like, he's Leroy in this shit.
Yeah, really. Fetch Jenkins. What kind of dog do you look like exactly? As we see Fetch dart away, like what exactly type of dog are we watching? Like dart after the pair of them.
I'm thinking kind of like a basset hound, like maybe with very like kind of like slobbery cheeks, ears that seem to be sentient and move by their own accord, and a very strong odor of wet
Oh
dog.
yeah, absolutely. So
Even when dry.
we watch the damp
Yeah,
basset.
even when dry.
Yeah, really. The damp basset hounds that is Fetch come like bounding over it. I think we see the girl, the like younger girl, turn like, oh, Papa, it's a puppy, and I think we see the father like, and he kind of like wheels, sort of like gesturing at you with the crossbow, and he's like, get back, you filthy mutt. These are my rabbits.
Food?
And I think that like, yeah, you're barking, right? Your magic is to be able to speak to humans, right? So I think that he's just like, get out of here, get out of here. Not every dog that we see is a friend, girl. He's here for the rabbits. We cannot give him up.
Fetch a friend. Fetch a friend. And he kind of takes one tentative paw closer. Food for Fetch?
I think hearing the barking, I think Banapan has to fly into the air and what the fuck is going on here. I don't see it, and if he raises that crossbow, she's gonna come down for his eyes. That's it. Like,
right at it. Right off the bat.
So I think that yeah, I think that at this point the hunter like kind of like pulls back the girl behind him, and he starts to like lift the crossbow, and he sort of like kicks out like a little bit harmlessly at you, Fetch, and he's like, I said get out of here, get, you filthy mutt. Banapan sort of circling, and I think we hear the girl is like tugging at the father's sleeve like, Papa. It's like she looks.
Scritch is going to try and get behind him. He's going to sneak around in the shrubbery to try and get to the other side of Fetch. So if they're focused on Fetch, Scritch is just kind of going, just kind of sneaking up on around the path to try and flank them as best he can.
I think that maybe this might be your first roll. I'm going to have you make a sneak roll here. So why don't you roll 1d10 plus your sly score, right? Which will be what? +2. 1d10 +2. 9. Excellent. Oh, yeah, they have no idea you're there. Scritch, like, darting and dashing, weaving through the undergrowth. You're able to kind of flank around, circling behind the pair of these people. And so, yeah, Fetch, what's your response here as this guy's trying to kind of shoo you off?
Fetch is taking it as playful, so immediately throws paws and head down and arse straight in the air and starts kind of bouncing around, tail wagging furiously. Want to play a game?
And I think the girl is like, he wants to play, Papa. And I think that we might like even like see her like kind of lean down and pick up a stick, and she sort of throws it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Fetch is doing his namesake. Fetch was never actually given a name, but just associates humans with Fetch.
Of course.
That was the closest thing to his name.
Of course.
So the stick flies off and Fetch bolts for it.
Okay. And I think he's like, quick thinking, girl. Come on. Let's get the hell out of here. We don't need no mangy dogs. We got too many mouths to feed already. What with your 6 brothers? Let's go. And he starts like dragging her kind of forward towards the village as Scritch lies like hidden in the brush. And yeah, the owl like circles overhead. What about you two though? Dinner and Flapton.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
there you go.
I was gonna say now that it seems to be they're turning back towards the village, I'll go ahead and kind of fly ahead and probably perch on a building just to keep an eye on him and watch. Let's see, what was the owl's name again? I saw it up here a second ago.
Banapan.
Banapan circling around, just watching Banapan as I'm sitting on roof of a building.
Excellent. So yeah, we see the magpie like kind of close the distance easily, right, covering the gap in the hills, and we're kind of watching this man and his daughter like make the walk as Fetch runs off after the stick. What about you, Dinner?
As you saw, what's the fox's name? Scritch.
Scritch.
As Scritch started to flank, you actually see this little rat kind of is actually sitting on top of him.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of as he's got onto him, and not in view of the humans. I point out, you've got a lot of nits and that sort of shit, and so I'm actually gonna just quickly clean his fur where I'm about to sit, and I'll just sit.
Little to the left. Yeah, there. Yeah. Oh,
When was the last time you had a fucking bath?
What's a bath?
I think that I think that Flapton, as you're like perched up on the wall in like one of these like roof buildings, and Fetch, like you've run to like get the stick and are kind of doubling back towards these people. I think that you hear like this man kind of murmuring to his daughter as he's coming up, approaching the village, kind of passing through the gates. You see that there's actually like a couple of guards at the gates, and they sort of nod. There's one like sort of like on either edge, leaning casually against the wall. I think one's smoking a pipe, the other one's kind of cleaning his fingernails with a knife, you know. And this man and his daughter come like making their way through the gates, and I think you hear the man saying like, "Oh yeah, we're lucky." He's like, "That hunter Gaston is here in the village. You think I'm impressive? You should see what he can do. He's legendary, they say. Fierce, independent. He's the smartest. He's the strongest.
Yeah, he's roughly as big as a barge,
Yeah.
I hear.
Indeed, he is. And I think that the daughter is like, oh my, I cannot wait to see him, Papa. It's such a great day. It's such a great day to be here in the village on the holy days. I'm delighted. And so you see kind of the pair of them making their way into town. Meanwhile, Fetch, you've like come charging back with the stick, and these two have sort of taken off towards town. Yep.
Fetch's initial return is one of those very proud dog, you know, when they like kind of trot like horses, real fucking smug with a big stick in his mouth. Probably a different stick, not the same one. He's hoping that no one notices. And head into town and have broken that boundary that all of these animals have usually gone. He starts running forward to roughly where Flapton is, underneath where Flapton is perched, and puts his paws and looks up on the building. What are we doing?
Gaston! That's who we're after. Big as a barn, they say. Should be hard to find if he's looking big as a real barn.
And Fetch looks around for this Gaston character.
Do we see any barns? Because again, as big as a barn, they say.
There are in fact barns all over the place. What are the rest of you guys doing? Scritch, you've got this rat perched on your head. Dinner is like,
Yeah, we're kind of. How far away are we from the kind of the entrance, the gate where these two guards are?
I think that like the magpie like sits up on the wall and sort of you guys are like a couple 100 feet back at like the tree line still, as the bird is like close the distance. Fetch has like run the distance and is now kind of like standing feet up on the wall, like peering up at the magpie while they chatter back and forth. So yeah, it's a few 100 feet.
Oh yeah, Scritch is definitely just kind of doing that kind of low to the ground foxing and just scampering as close as he can, but trying to maintain, kind of trying to stay out of sight of the big scary humans. Just going, utterly forgetting there's a rat on his back.
Yeah. And so,
who's holding on for dear life? I can't push it any faster, can
It feels like pinching, but the Scritch is well used to being bitten by fleas and ticks and stuff like that. So I mean, it's nothing new.
I
to
love
him.
the idea of like this mangy, scrappy fox with the rat like just clinging to the fur on his head, like some secretive Nim energy, right? While the fox is kind of like darting and weaving between the bushes and like the tall grass, scurrying up onto the edge of the wall. What about
Scritch is just waiting for those guards to be distracted. So he's gonna.
Got it. What about you, Banapam?
So I think Banapan is sort of, I think her and Scritch have been out a few times, and I think they know the fox's drill here. So she's going to down low, about 20 feet away from the guards, and then conjure a roast beef, and then kind of swoop away.
Okay. Just going for the spells already.
I love it.
I was debating doing a distract as well to help, but roast beef. Huh? All right.
Okay, this is fantastic. So Banapan is going to try to conjure dinner. Magic is always dangerous. If you fail the roll, you'll accumulate a point of danger. I think it's a pretty simple thing for you to do. So I'm going to have you just roll 1d10 to like, let's see if you can get your magic. The difficulty is going to be 6.
Nope.
Oh.
Rancid roast beef.
Yeah.
Rancid, horrible, smelly. Perfect for us. Not very good for humans.
Not even roast beef, just a cow falls from
Okay.
That'd be distracting. I mean,
I think, I think it is some like version of that as like this haunch of beef flesh covered in mold and like, just like tepid and rancid falls from the sky like and smashes on like the guard who's like cleaning his fingernails, and he's just like, bloody hell, what in the like looking up like covered in slop. Banapan, you've accumulated a point of danger, so let's just make note of that. That won't come back to hurt us at all. And I think at this point he's alerted to your presence, and he's like, how in the fucking hell did that owl just carry that whole leg? Son of a bitch, you see that, Dennis? Dennis, get your bow. Shoot that fucker. Shoot him right from the sky. And I think we see like the other fellow like, huh? He's got the pipe in his teeth looking up at the sky. A lot of you see this as Banapan drops this rancid meat on one of the guards. Does anybody want to do anything?
Oh, Scritch is taken off the second they're distracted. He's going, Speedy Scritch, go! And he's just going to bolt as fast as he can. And
Are you going towards the guards?
Sorry?
Are you going towards the guards?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
But as
Okay, cool.
he's gonna
Shit.
I'm
gonna wait to see if they
that
pull
he
out a
can
boo.
maybe take a bite of the rancid, horrible stuff as he's going by. I mean, it's food on the ground. I'm an urban fox. I gotta take what I
Oh
need.
my gosh, this is too much. So I think I'm going to have you make another roll with your sly. You're going to roll 1d10 plus your sly scores. You're going to try to sneak past the guards and sneak a bite of meat. And I'll say that dinner as the rat. I don't know if you want to do anything to help the situation. Oh, yeah, easily.
As a good person once said, he be a nimble bitch.
Scritch.
No. He be a nimble scritch.
Really?
A nimble
He is a
Scritch.
nimble scritch. You do be a nimble
My
scritch.
full name, Nimble Scritch.
Nimble Scritch like darting in. Dinner, you're clinging to his head. Your friend here stops to like grab a mouthful of this rancid meat. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna, as he's passing the guard, and is the guard actually about to take a shot at?
Yeah, I think that the one guard is kind of like fumbling around, like getting his bow off the wall slowly, like getting ready to knock an arrow. He's very casual about all this.
Well,
the pipe in his teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as Scritch gets close enough, I'm going to launch off his neck and at the guard just to try and distract them. I mean, what's probably going to happen is going past the end of his bow.
Well,
Sky and for his bow.
Before you roll, because this will be fun, when you drew the bow, I actually planned on attacking the bowstring to try and snap it. So have both these happen at the same time. On here.
Yes, it will actually
A rat
definitely.
just jumps up and a magpie goes after a string.
It will be brilliant. So I'm gonna say that we will have our magpie flapped in like roll first. You're gonna dive down to try to like rip the bowstring. Is your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snap that string.
So I think that you have to make a roll with fierce, and the difficulty is probably like
Fierce?
7. Yeah.
All right. Fierce is 1. There was an 8, so it's 9.
Oh yeah, nice. And this was definitely dangerous. So and now I'm gonna have you, Dinner, do the same thing. I think you're gonna roll plus your fierce, and I think this is definitely dangerous. And it's probably like a difficulty of 7. This is like challenging, as you're gonna like make the leap off the running fox.
Okay, here we go. Oh god!
Oh no! Oh no!
My fierce is 0.
So Dinner, you have accumulated a point of danger. So I think that we see Flapton like, like a missile, this magpie darts from the air, like just severing the bowstring. And I think that the like guard is like bringing the bow up, like what in the fuck? And the pipe like falls out of his mouth, and ashes kind of scatter everywhere as we see Dinner like just flying through the air,
Red Eagle.
like teeth gnashing,
Gets covered in the soot from his
I
ash.
think it's like a cascade of fiery embers, you know what I mean? Of like pipe tobacco falling all over you, like choking, you smash off and I think he just like swats you down into the ground with the bowstring, and he's like, what in the fuck is going on over here, maybe? There's rats and birds everywhere. What is this? And the other one is...
No bows. Bows are bad. Bows are bad. No bows.
Scritch is going for the ankle. He saw his buddy. He's going for a bite on the right on the Achilles heel. He's just gonna go, yeah, you big bastard, yeah.
I think Scritch has to roll fierce. I think that you're rolling plus fierce. I think that this is also going to be a roll of 7, as this guy is like relatively distracted. It's definitely dangerous. Yes. Scritch like leaps in, and now he's just like, help! There's a mad rabies. They're all going mad. Foxes and magpies and rats. Meanwhile, the other...
Yes, I'm riddled with disease.
Meanwhile, the other guard is like trying to like extract this like rotten beef from his eyes and his beard. He's like sort of like choking up in the corner. Fetch, it's been a minute. What are you exactly doing here?
I'm claiming territory right now and pissing on every available wall.
This wall
Seems to be a nice town.
My wall.
There's a lot of dog smell around here, and he's just eyeing up every lamp post and wall and bin, and even to the point where he's no longer pissing, but he's just cocking his leg regardless.
Yeah. And poor Bannican, who started this whole thing, Bannipan, what are you doing? You're like, you have the bird's eye view of this whole like a scene unfolding, right? The one guard beset upon by your allies, Fetch marking everything. The other one completely like put out by this meat all over his head.
I think they might recognise Dinner has been sort of in a little bit of trouble from jumping in front of them. So they're going to swoop down and pick up Dinner and then kind of go through the gate and go and meet...
I'm dying! Down and pick up Dinner.
Picks up Dinner and then tries to go over to Fetch to sort of... Now that everyone is distracted, I think it's time to kind of get through.
Oh yeah, it's quite a distraction. I mean, okay, so we see the owl snatch the rat off the ground. The fox like darting around the ankles of the one guard who's like swatting at the ground with the now useless kind of bow, right? So what are you guys doing here? You gonna regroup in the town a little bit? Where are you at, Magpie Flapton?
I'll just fly back in. Follow our leader, Bannipan, the owl, as smartest one. Tell us where.
All right.
So did that. The bow's bad. Bow's bad. Broke the bow. And then regrouping.
And I think that we see the one guard who's like been harried here. He starts running, as the disease-riddled fox is like snapping at his heels. He's just like, I'm going for help, and he like takes off charging into the town like something's gone wild. We're going to need to unleash the whole guard. He's like running back into the village.
Hear me!
So Bannipan, I think that like your allies here are kind of rallying around you as you're in like sort of an alley off to the side as you come into the gate, right? The wall kind of rolling around the town, a bunch of like squat stone buildings all over the place. The wizard's tower kind of dominating the landscape in the center of the village, as it were. And we see like the one guard is still like outside the gate. We hear the sounds of his retching the roast beef, and the other one like seemingly like running for help into town. What do you guys want to do?
And I think Bannipan's kind of looking around. This is a really unfamiliar place for danger, keeping their eyes kind of peeled. And
Gaston is the name that the hunter said is the hunter.
Gaston.
Yeah, Gaston.
Somebody puts that hate into the name, and they're thinking that they could possibly curse them by saying their name. And what does he look like?
Big as a barn.
And then it's like, ooh, and that neck kind of stretches upwards. The idea of a barn.
Barn owl. Of it. Okay.
So, what's the plan then? How are we going to find this Gaston?
Are you still clutching dinner in your claws, or is it?
Oh yeah,
Just pinned him.
it's like spread eagle.
Just pinned him around.
Is it possible to pick up Gaston's scent
Ooh.
if he was if he killed the witch in our home where they are now dead? Is it possible for Fetch to try and pick up the smell
I
of
think
Gaston?
absolutely. I think that Fetch is a dog. This is a very dog-like thing to do. Yeah, you would have like had the many scents that were unfamiliar there at your house from this this horrible fucking witch hunter. So I think that what are we gonna do here? Probably
I think it's likely fierce. I think that's probably what it is.
It would be great.
Is
Not
it
clever
behind me
or
because
sly.
you have a 3 in that?
Yep.
Has nothing
Has
to do
nothing
with
to
it,
do
funnily
with that
enough.
at all. I feel like probably it's sly, right? Like or it might be clever. I think it's going to
You're
be like
killing me,
one of the
Philly.
two of those. I know I am killing you. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm a real bastard here.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Um,
If this rolls badly, then Fetch is going to get incredibly distracted by the smells that he's picking up and
There you go,
may
and go
bolt
after
again.
that pie.
Mhm.
Yeah. probably.
Oh!
Yeah, Philly, what?
Well, I'll say
That's
10's
the
a question,
equivalent of a
everybody
20.
It sure
Yeah,
is.
everyone drink.
What am I supposed to go? 10. It's not as good. Yeah, it's not as exciting. I think that Fetch is good at what he does. He's the best there is at what he does, you know. And you eat through the scent of your companions here who are quite odoriferous in their varied ways. The rancid roast beef kind of wafting on the breeze through the entryway of the kind of village itself. You scent the many scents, the rabbit, the sort of old man and his daughter, and then you catch the scent that was lingering around the corpse of your beautiful murdered witch, that fucking bastard Gaston. You smell him, Fetch. You know where you will find him. And so and so I think that you hone in like a laser, right? Your basset hound's nose kind of like leading you ambling through the streets. The rest of you kind of following, as it were, right? Banapan carrying dinner, Flapton like leaping building to building, right? Scritch darting through the shadows. And I think that a lot of you
Give me back my scarf! I want my scarf back!
And I think that, a lot of you like kind of darting through the building, the shadow of this ominous kind of wizard's tower looming large. I think that we see like people moving through like the main avenues of the streets. Every once in a while, I think one of them wears like this sort of very ostentatious velvet purple robes and like these tall conical purple hats trimmed in these gold runes. The wizards of the college, these religious students on their ways to indoctrinate themselves into the hierarchy of their culture here. And I think that you come approaching onto this like kind of large stone 3-story building with many windows about it, and a sign hangs from the front that has a picture of like a tankard and like a roasted bird. It's quite a horrific sight for you, for the pair of you, as you see this like clearly dead bird steaming and smoking on the thing. None of you can read, so yeah.
I think Badapa would like to shit on one of the wizards.
I've been waiting this entire game for one of the birds to do that.
I guess the idea is you want to shit on them and be noticed to like really, or do you want to like get away before they see you? Is actually the
I think
question.
it's that. I want that kind of feeling of a bird. Do you know what I mean? So they obviously get shat on and be like, oh, God, you know?
Yeah. I think that honestly, like it's easily enough done as you circle over and we see like one of the wizards walking and he's I think like talking. He's probably like holding a bundle of books out in front of him. There's like a small entourage of people following. He's like very sort of full of himself as he gives this speech, like explaining like, well, you see, when the college was founded, of course, this town was full of mindless peasants, all of you foolish, ignorant people. You're quite fortunate. We decided to establish such. He like looks up, like, oh, it burns! It burns terribly! It's like looking in the sky, There's like some snickering and chuckling amongst like the apprentices behind him, Yeah. Yep.
Dinner's just looking down and sort of being your sort of bomb site, going, fire!
Direction, sir! Vern has the owl been eating nothing but vindaloo?
So yeah, I think that all of you are kind of like in this alley next to like this large three-story stone building. Thatch has definitely like tracked Gaston here. You're sure that like he's inside this place. You have a notion of like doors and windows. There were some in the stump that you lived in.
But they're all completely closed up and everything. There's nothing that's open. It's all closed
I
up.
think there's definitely like some windows on the upper floors that are like open. I think the doors themselves are kind of closed. There's probably actually you hear voices, I think, from like the back further down the alley, like the chatter of people, the clanging and the banging of metal things, which are probably sort of foreign to you. Yeah.
I'm going to drop down and try and find a little entryway. And see if there's any grates, any sort of holes, anything like that.
Oh, I think absolutely. I think that there's definitively like a hole that the rat could fit into easily. You're like finding along one of like the bases of the building, sure, for sure.
Okay, I head on in.
Yeah, while I do that, one thing I'm thinking you can also try is fly in one of the lower story windows and kind of fly to the front door of the place real fast and just kind of batter against the door to get someone's attention to like, oh, it's with a bird, let's get them out and open the door so the fox and the dog can run in.
Okay, excellent. So I think that as dinner,
so I'll tell them. So yeah, I'll tell them the plan that them go, hey, I'll get them to open the door. Just get ready to run in.
Fetch is below the ground floor window and he's doing this. He's going,
the door, not the window.
trying to glance to look inside.
Okay. So I think that dinner, I'm gonna have you make like another one of these sneak rolls. Go ahead and roll plus your sly. I don't think this is necessarily dangerous for you yet, as the rat's gonna try to sneak his way into the building. Oh yeah, easily.
Yes.
You like come scurrying in and yeah, I think that as you pop your head out of the hole on the other side, there's a bunch of commotion. There's humans everywhere. The stink of their disgusting hairless bodies fills the room amidst the smell of their delectable foods, which somehow they use the burning light to cook, and it just smells so much better. And you're kind of like, oh, and there's this cacophony. But I think that that the scene like pans back, and we see like Fetch leaping up in front of the window, right? Right, and it's like we're in now the common room of this place, right? And if we pan up from the wall where dinner is, like kind of tucked in the hole, and we see Fetch's head leaping, and I think we see one of the people like, oh look, it's a dog, and they kind of go open the window up with like a kind of like loaf of bread that they like toss out to you, Fetch, and meanwhile, woof, in flies Flapton, right? And so I think that we're gonna have you probably make a quick roll. Let's have you roll plus your quick, Magpie, as you're going to come in.
It's 6 total.
6 total. I think the difficulty was 6 is a pretty easy, straightforward thing. And so I think we see them like with this heel of bread that they toss out to the dog, and suddenly like, oh, son of a bitch! They like duck down as this magpie like zooms over their head, and like you circle into the common room now, right? The magpie kind of flying, the commotion of people. I think there's a little bit of like an uproar, like, oh, there's a bird in here. What the fuck? Somebody's like, oh, don't worry, it's good luck. It's good luck. All the holy days. We're supposed to let the birds inside. Like, you're still drunk, god damn it. And so you're like flying to the door. Meanwhile, outside, what's up with the rest of you guys while you're still out there? You're just waiting to see how this plays out?
Well, no, Scritch would have seen his scarf friend running, and he's not leaving him alone. He wants to get in, so he's gonna try and dart in after him if he can.
Okay, so I think that your buddy Dinner went through a very small hole, and this is gonna be tricky for you to drive your. Yeah.
I'm still gonna try.
Well, Scritch, if the nimble
got no
Scritch is
spatial
gonna try and
awareness.
shove his face into the hole to see where he
Okay,
he can wiggle his tiny little frame through.
I think this is a fierce roll, as you're gonna try to like shove yourself through this hole that's like a little bit too small.
Didn't mean to send that. Sorry, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, let's all
Love you all, though. It's
Well
fine.
done. Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
They don't see it on stream if I recall.
Oh no, yeah, you're all good. So I think that Scratch, you like wedge yourself into this hole. I think you're able to get like your front quarters in, your ribs like pulled, but like you're at your back hips now, and you're like stuck. You're jammed into the wall. We just see the
back legs are kicking fiercely out the back, just wiggling.
the like ratty
Like Ace
fox
Ventura
tail.
out with a rhino.
And so like Thatch and Banaban, you know, Scritch is like just trapped himself inside the wall. Meanwhile, inside the common room, amidst this commotion, Flapton is like wheeling and circling, and I think that that like you're going for the door, right? You're trying to like make this commotion near the door to get them to open it.
Yeah.
So I think somebody like throws the door open, and I think we hear this.
I fly
I
out.
think we hear this voice like, "Oh, Gaston, Gaston, did you see this? There were birds in the building. If only you would have been down just a tad earlier, you could have taken them out of the sky with your knives. Nobody could throw a knife like you, Gaston. Just wait." And I think that like as you fly out the door, Flapton, you kind of like able to peer back, and you, Dinner, perched as you are, you're like tucked at the hole at the base of the wall, and you hear this like racketing commotion, and probably feel the like damp nose of your friend like bumbling up into you from behind, as Scritch has just like trapped himself inside this wall. But in the
I'm coming, friend. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm coming.
It's like this sort of an inch wide circle.
Meanwhile, I think as you like look into the common room, I think you see like coming down the flight of stairs like this enormously burly fellow with this like magnificent, luxurious like black hair tumbling down, cascading over his shoulders. You know, this like hideous human physique, upright, bipedal, overbalanced in the shoulders, hairless face. It's horrific. It's a scene to behold. Yeah.
I'm going to see. Is he wearing a jacket, some sort of long coat, or?
I think that he's wearing probably like a robe, you know. He's wearing he's got on like some kind of silk underneath, and like a smoking jacket almost, you know, almost like a dinner robe of velvet, you know.
Okay. I'm going to try and scurry out using the shadows. I want to try and climb his leg and hide in a pocket on like his back somewhere. Not a pocket that he's going to go into a lot. Like if he's got like a backpack on, amazing, but probably not. But like, you know, if he's got like a back pocket or a money pouch, which one wouldn't go to quite often, I want to try and hide there on his person.
Okay, this is definitely going to be dangerous. So
yeah.
I think this is going to be a totally like a sly roll right here, and I think that the difficulty is probably 8 for this rat to climb up the leg of this hunter, this famous hunter Gaston. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
The total of
12 total. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, the camera is kind of like rotating through this common room, the commotion happening, Flapton like flying out the door, people kind of like yelling, right? Scritch is stuck in the wall outside. And like we see Dinner like just dart, the camera like dropping down low over the wood, right? We're like darting in between like kind of foodstuffs and spilled stains, and you were like weaving between the feet of these people as they're all staring at the magpie out the door, and you leap, grabbing onto the edge of the robe and like scurrying up the edge of this kind of like this coat. And I think that there's like a large like voluminous pocket in it that you're easily able to kind of like dip yourself into, like
Nice.
Meanwhile,
There's where I'll stay.
Meanwhile,
No one ever listens to my plans.
I think
Because the dogs didn't run in.
I think
No one
is going to steal that bread that got thrown out, and put it about half a foot behind Scritch. And then she's just going to like talon Scritch's butt to try and get him to sort of move and sort of try and get him out of the hole, but hoping that the food will also help him sort of think about moving backwards instead of forwards.
Well, Scritch is actually quite enjoying the little pecking because he's had an itch back there for about a week.
These are with the talon. It's like, shut up.
Okay, Scritch is kind of gonna try and wiggle his scrawny little quirts.
Yeah.
Like
What's the safe word? What's the safe word?
Domineering owl. Okay.
Roll for spank.
Scritch, I think as you're going to try to wedge yourself out of this, you're going to have to make another fierce roll, and I think that the difficulty is actually like probably like a bit harder here. I think that it's going to be challenging, like you're pretty jammed in. So you need to roll fierce, you need to beat 8, and I think this is dangerous because you might hurt yourself on the way out. Oh, yeah, that's a fail. So I think that what happens here is you're able to get yourself out, but you gouge yourself pretty badly, right? I think a chunk of stone, like kind of scrapes you across the back. We see like a tuft of your like ratty kind of fur is torn off as you pull yourself out of the back. A little bit of kind of blood like staining the edge of the stone. And yeah, now you got yourself a danger point.
It's all right. Chicks dig scars, right?
So yeah, Scritch,
No!
Fetch, Bannapan, Flapton, the 4 of you are outside. Yep.
Fetch is crying by the door now, because just as he was about to go for the bread, Owl stole it from him. So he's gently scratching at the door and crying.
I think that the door like opens as you start scratching at it, as it had not been like adequately closed after the antics of Flapton, and so like you start
Classic D&D.
you start like
Has anyone actually tried opening the door?
No.
We don't have I had them open the door for you, and they never see it closed. But
Yeah, I got a stupid idea.
Great.
So
the
the wizards are still coming in through the front door, right? I want to see, has any of them got a familiar that's an owl that I can possibly take the place of?
Oh my word! I think that
look for it in particular, so they won't know they're familiar.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise,
Or even if they've got somebody's got a long staff with like a big, energy ball or a big ball on the top that I can go and sit on and make it look as if this is normal.
Oh yeah.
For me to be here.
I think that while all this commotion is going on, right? Once Scritch has kind of extricated himself and like you're sitting out here, you're a wise owl, Bannapan, right? And so you like head rotating and pivoting, and there's groups of people kind of coming here to get their breakfast at this inn, as it were. And I think that you see here comes like a lone sort of wizard, the purple robes, the conical hat, and I think that we see like this owl kind of trailing behind him, building to building. There's enough resemblance there. You feel like you might be able to, sneak in if you, yeah.
Yeah, you think I can kick the shit out of this other owl?
It's certainly possible.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Exactly. owl combat, and so I'm gonna go for
Combat.
more towel. So yeah, I'm gonna go and try and attack this other owl to try. And
Okay,
get rid of them.
I'm a huge fan of bird initiative, so I think that you just take the bird initiative and you may go ahead and make. I think that this is a fierce roll, pretty clearly, right? And I think that there's some danger involved in that. Like you're about to go like, owl to owl.
Okay, my rolls have been fantastic so far. Oh, that's better.
Oh,
A 9.
nice. Yeah. So I think that we see this poor unsuspecting owl like, whoo, whoo, as he like flies and like lands elegantly on this building, like tucking the wings back in, waiting, his wizard kind of passing. And just as the wizard like gets out in front of him, we see the side of Banapan just like, boom, like crash into him, tumble him off the wall where he crashes down into the alley in front of the lot of you. You see your friend now has this other owl, a little bit smaller than him, kind of pinned to the ground, talons stuck into him. Its flapping feathers are all over the place. Are any of the rest of you doing
Rich
it?
is running over to help
Oh, yeah.
immediately.
Okay.
Finish.
And he's literally like, stay
Who's
down.
your daddy, bitch?
Yeah, I think that's.
And then I think owl stops for a second. It's like, is that the safe word? No. I just like smash it into this bird. I have a feeling this bird is Archimedes from Sword in the Stone. It's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this poor
I think like
sentient bird is being ripped apart.
very much. I think it's just like, please, no, please, it doesn't need to. As like the mangy bleeding fox like clamps down on its throat, and we hear the like snapping. You taste the blood on your tongue. It's so fresh, Scritch. You usually are relegated to garbage, but this is delightful. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't
I think
going
that-
to eat the owl, but I'm going to now.
Banapan sort of sits back and watches, just like, yes.
Scritch is just gonna look up at his. He's gonna look up at the owl and go, "Can I?
Do it.
Do it.
Executed for a 66.
This thing took a real like Heart of Darkness turn quickly. I'm loving it. Okay, so
Poor owl."
meanwhile, Fetch, Flapton, the pair of you have like turned over. Fetch, you actually opened the door. So what do you want to do? Do you wander into the common room?
I think as the door is opened, a waft of delicious cooked food has come out of the building, and despite Fetch's best intentions, he's going to choose food over the mission. So he's going to try and sneak in tentatively, because he's recognized this whenever the witch was cooking dinner. And particularly the word fucker he recognizes because he's been called it too often.
Yeah.
So he's trying to sneak between the tables, pissing on the occasional chair leg, just to claim territory.
I think that you're gonna have to make a sneak roll here, Fetch, with your sly.
My strong point.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a little bit of boy.
Good.
That's definitely a fail, right? What do you have?
What you get?
Yes, 0.
0.
That's a fail. I think that for this, like, you accumulate a point of danger as somebody's like, hey, whose dog is that? Hey, that's somebody. Close the damn door! And I think that somebody proceeds to like just swat you with the wooden spoon right on the side of the head, Fetch. You know what I mean? And they're like, get it out of here! Get it out of here! A lot of you like outside, kind of hearing this commotion, right? Meanwhile, like dinner, you're still like in the pocket of this big burly man who has sat himself down at a table with this kind of heaping plate of eggs and bacon and foodstuffs, and he's sort of like holding court. A group of people have gathered around him, like, tell us, Gaston, tell us of when you killed that witch on the eastern continent. Tell us of when you killed Black Molly. Tell us. They're like asking him the questions. Fetch, you're being like chased out as this like kind of one of the waitresses with this wooden spoon is like battering you about the head, like, get out of here, dog! Get out! Flapton, you're sitting outside watching Scritch and Banapam like consume this other owl.
Watching intently. This is rather entertaining.
The owl as well. This is owl cannibalism.
I don't know.
going
I'm
on.
escalating.
This is blood sport right here.
I will gain his power. I will gain his power.
It's like Highlander.
Strong.
It is like Highlander. So Flapton, you're just like hanging outside watching all this play out.
Oh yeah, this is blood sport.
Okay.
This is good.
Okay. Excellent. And so I think we see the door open again as like this person is like kind of chasing poor Fetch out of the inn, right? And the wizard with like his owl like turns and kind of stops, and I think we hear him calling, Archimedes, where are you? What have you done?
Shit.
Blood all around your mouth. He was one day from retirement as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Familiar retirement.
Actually, seeing this with my little snout popped out, I'll actually clean your feathers as you're so you can actually go and land on him, and I'll cast my little magic from his pocket, subtly, and I'll try and clean you up so you can actually return to said owner.
Okay, this is awesome. So magic is always dangerous. I think the difficulty is 6. This is easy enough for you to do so. Just a straight D10.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yes. Dinner's got it.
It's some good dinner.
So yeah, I think that we see you outside Bannerpan, like the blood kind of like cleaned off your face, that sort of prestidigitation, right? The like twinkles and like sparkles kind of wash over you as though, yes, you are the familiar of some Disney villain, but like, yes, you look like magnificent and yeah, ostentatious.
So sort of like fly. And then land on a staff, I think, or something that they've got, or an arm or shoulder.
Absolutely.
And sort of like straight chest's up in the air, sort of like sitting proud. Thinking in the head, like, when did I get the powers? When will I get the powers? Sort of, yes, Dark Lord, it soon shall be mine.
And I think that we see the wizard like sort of like adjust the hat and like move the glasses on his nose a little bit, like, my, you look quite different this morning. Well, yes, come. We want to meet with Gaston. The word is that he's done us a great deed and killed that villainous witch out in the woods. Too long has she been a thorn in the side of our college. Come.
And I think a talent just sort of squeeze in.
You see like the zoom into the talons, the wood like splintering at the top of the staff, right? As like this wizard is like striding in, and meanwhile like poor Fetch is kind of like being battered out the door, like cracked in the head with the wooden spoon. Scritch and Flapton, what's up with you two here?
Well, Scritch just saw his incredibly wise owl friend just become incredibly clean and lovely, so he's going to decide to take a bath as well. So he's going to roll all himself completely in the bloody corpse of the other owl.
Yes.
I was expecting a death bath, not a blood bath, but okay.
A bath is a bath. And he's going to get myself nice and clean. I'm going to be lovely. I'm going to look really, really good now. And then he is going, because he knows this is where all the good stuff is, he's going to see if he can find a little alley around the back, where the bins are. And on the way, maybe if he sees an open door or a window or something on the way, he might pay attention to that as well.
Oh, yeah, I think that this is like this real like weird tar and feathering that's happening, right? As like the blood is sticking to your fur and these owl feathers are kind of like jutting out all over the place. You've just become like even more of a scene, your own wound kind of like mixed in with
I am the owl fox.
And so you're going to go like
Everyone's
scurrying around the back. Flapton, what are you doing?
sorry. It's like, everyone's heard of owl bears, but have you heard of an owl fox?
The owl fox. The most cunning of all the foxes.
Yes.
Flapton, what are you doing here in the midst of this?
We got two people inside, so three people inside, one being driven out. I think I will use the same hole that Dinner used and Scritch tried to use.
Okay, excellent. I think
Very
Get in
dangerous
that
hole.
way.
Be careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to avoid the bloodstains.
I think with you being like small, yeah, probably you could just make like a sly roll. How about that? As you're trying to kind of like wiggle and like slip your way in without being noticed as you kind of sneak into this hole in the side of the wall. And I think, yeah, I think the difficulty was 6. You're able to do it fine. So, yeah, I think that we see like your sort of magpie head peek out of this hole, looking into the room, and you could see this figure of Gaston. Meanwhile, poor Fetch is like at the door, being like tormented by this waitress as she's like beating and pounding on you. What are you trying to do here, Fetch, while you're at the door? You see like your friend Banapan on the top of the staff, carried in by a wizard.
How is this waitress the only person who's trying to get rid of me? Do the rest of the inn seem too bothered by me, or is this a lone mission?
I think that like most of the patrons seem like very occupied either by their food or their conversations, or Gaston, who has this small kind of crowd gathered around him, and this waitress is like taking her job a little too seriously, you know?
Great. I think Fetch is going to go pure dog instinct and be clumsy as hell as he tries to navigate his way round the pub, jumping onto tables, hitting food off and everything, slipping in his own urine that he had just previously put down,
Oh yeah.
and causing as big a ruckus as possible.
I think that we're gonna have you make. Why don't we have you make like a fierce roll, as you're gonna be like leaping and jumping and crashing into things and trying to like kind of make a commotion. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. This is my strong suit. Natural 1. Oh, 7 in total.
Oh, 7 in total is good enough. Yeah, the difficulty would have been 6. So I think that, yeah, we see you kind of like wheel around her, like darting back into the place, crashing into tables, like smashing chairs. And some of the other people are looking over. And I think that at this point, we hear like Gaston himself, like, whose dog is this? He says, does this dog belong to one of you? Or perhaps we should take him and string him up. Come here, Pooch. Are you any good at hunting? There's much hunting to be done in the next days, I hear. One witch dead, but more to go.
Fetch hears the word hunting. Hunting? Hunting? And then says, speak human. Gaston? Gaston?
Oh no!
Oh, you're gonna. So this is Fetch using magic. I'm gonna have you make a straight D10 roll. It's dangerous. The difficulty is 6, as you're just saying one word.
See,
no.
I think I've got the upper hand here, because if you kill a dog, Philly, the chat is going to go wild.
I know, it's so bad. I'm the worst. Yeah, it's kind of rough.
And
oh, that's bad. So Fetch has officially accumulated 2 points of danger as you're like
rock and roll.
trying to say like Gaston, and I think you're kind of like growl. It comes out as like a growl, and suddenly like the tension in the room like escalates a little bit, and I think that Gaston is like, "How dare you, you filthy animal! I will have your hide for this." And he like kind of like stands up from the table for a minute, the chair skidding back. And I think that the wizard with Banapan on his staff is like, "Oh my, this bodes ill. One does not just upset Gaston and walk away from it. This incompetent dog is going to face his wrath." And so meanwhile,
Run!
meanwhile, Flapton, your head is like peeking out of the hole at the base of the wall. Dinner, you're in the pocket of this big burly human. And what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to wait until Gaston actually makes a move to strike the dog, or make a move, and then if he goes to, I'm going to climb up its back, bite him in the back of the neck.
Okay.
And
I'll just yell, tweet at the Fetch, going, "Run! Get out! Get Gaston by himself so we can murder him! Get him outside!
If you can lower
Get
him out
outside.
the back, that'd be great.
Outside.
Get outside!
Get outside, you little fucker.
You know that's your dog? That's what the retard said. You little fuck.
Meanwhile, in the back, I think Scritch, like you come like rolling around the corner and you're like covered in blood and feathers, you know. I think that there's like refuse and rubbish piles everywhere. And we see kind of like the classic like Dutch doors, right? The bottom door is closed, but the top half's open. And I think as you kind of like come around the corner, we see the figure of like this sort of big burly man with like a kind of shaven head, and he's wearing like an apron, you know, and he's got like the classic kind of cast iron black kettle that he just like whoosh, with like this slop garbage out into the alley. And I think that I'm gonna have you make a quick roll here, Scritch, to see if you can avoid this garbage that's like flying out the back door at you. Oh yeah,
Can he choose to fail it?
he could choose to fail it for sure.
That's an 8.
Yeah, so I think you were able to like dart out of the way, like ducking as like this like slop kind of like splatters against the wall of the other building, running down into the garbage pile. And we see the cook like kind of turn back, walking into the kitchen. The murmur of like conversation and cooking and clattering coming out of there.
Scritch really doesn't like seeing bare skin anytime. He thinks everything needs to be covered in lovely fur. So he's going to cast Plant Grows on the ball, give him some moss hair.
Yes, we love moss hair. So magic is always dangerous. It's a straight roll. I think that like you're trying to grow plants on a human's head, so maybe it's a decent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a failure.
Oh, easy. Oh, dear.
Oh, we're gonna die.
I don't even.
That's 2.
What does that look like? Like, what does that look like? Where do the plants come? I think that you start like growing the plants, and rather than like on the head, probably they start like growing down out of the door frame, and all of a sudden the cook is turning like, what in the hell is happening? There's like thorns kind of like scraping his face. He's like pulling away at this kind of stuff. Plants kind of like surging up around you, kind of tangling at your feet. Scritch, yeah.
And nature shall reclaim the land.
Allegedly.
Entropy. And I think the cook is just like, these damnable wizards. I don't know how we got swept up in all of this to begin with. There's plants growing off the fucking roof. I hate the holy days. You know, and we hear a voice from inside. Don't say that. Don't say that. They'll disembowel you like the last cook. Meanwhile, we like kind of cut back into the common room amidst all this commotion. The dog like leaping around, smashing everything. I think the Gaston like gets up and he's like, you mangy animal, and he like leaps kind of like racing towards you. I think he pulls like a long knife out from underneath his like robe. And Dinner, you wanted to try to like scurry up his neck and bite him in the back of the head. I think you might be muted. Okay. No
Sorry.
problem.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I'm gonna as soon as he sort of raises to go for it, I'll bury my little teeth into him.
Yeah, so this is a fierce roll. It's definitely dangerous. I think the difficulty is going to be 7 for you. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Let me go.
This
Kind of
is-
looks like a 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you squint.
On my screen, it's a 7.
Yeah, this is really bad. So, if you ever roll equal
Danger.
to or under your danger, you're in serious trouble. Dead, trapped, lost, or captured. And so I think as we see Dinner scurrying up under the robe, I think it's like one of these, like he's kind of under the robe, and we see this thing, and suddenly Gaston, he's got this knife in his hand, you know, and he's like reaching over and he shoves his arm down under the robe, and it's like, ah! And you all see it. Gaston now holding this rat by the head, pinched as Dinner is like flailing in the air. Banapan flapped in and fetched. A lot of you all like see this happening, you know, and Gaston's like, what kind of establishment is this place? Rats and dogs and birds. This is a miserable village. Yeah.
I think
What I want to do, but
I
Joe,
think I think Banapan is going to sweep forward towards the rat, and it's going to try and nab the rat. Now you said that the whole place is like rats everywhere. So what I think I want to do is grab hold of Dinner, fly, drop him, grab another rat, and come back to Gaston.
Oh my word. Okay.
as a like as like
Also-
I'm a hunting bird. That kind of like try to kind of ingratiate myself with Gaston a little bit. Is kind of the plan.
And Joe, to help you out here, though, I think I'll try casting distract.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
slash confuse.
Okay, nice.
In the process.
And Fetch, what were you gonna do? Let's just figure out what everybody's doing, and then we'll figure out order of operations here.
Yeah.
I might scupper these plans of yours. My initial instinct was to go for the low-hanging fruit.
Oh no! So I think that this is what's going to happen. I think first Flapton, go for the distract. You're going to roll magic. Magic's always dangerous. I think it's a D6 9.
Nice.
So tell me what the
The
distraction
first
looks like.
spell that actually works
Yes.
properly.
Tell me what the distraction looks like, Flapton. What do we see as you cast this
bloody
magic?
hell. Hey, I mean, he is complaining about birds, rats, and dogs. So we're gonna have a murder of crows appear in the rafters, just making noise and all that stuff.
Okay, excellent. And so I think at this point, like Gaston holding the rat, he looks up and he's like, by the grace of the old gods, what is this foul place? I do not know what strange religion a lot of you have fallen into, but this is a disgusting misery of a hovel. Completely like overwhelmed. I think at this point, Banapan, you are going to have to roll probably clever, and I think the difficulty is definitely like 8, as it's challenging. You're gonna try to like do this like quick swap turnaround extraction replacement operation.
All right.
that.
Oh, I got a 7.
Ooh.
Plus anything?
No, that's it. That's total.
It's a 4 plus 3
That's
for a
with
7.
his plus. So I think that the deal here is like you're able to kind of like fly in and you snatch dinner out, but as you're like looking for the rest of the rats, the crows, the cacophony of this murder of crows up top, like the rats are like scurrying into darkness under tables, like you're looking to like find one to replace it, and like they're all gone, right? And you're just kind of caught like open air flying with dinner like clutched in your talons, and it's at this point, Fetch, that you're going to go for the low-hanging fruit.
I love the just we got here and just how did we do this? Look at you had basically.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that given like the conflict, the intensity, the like tension that's rising in this place, I think this is probably like a DC of 8 for you to like race in and get this guy who's holding a knife and all kinds of pissed off and has his energy focused on you. So make a fierce roll.
Don't roll a 2.
Yeah, really.
I was hoping to get him outside, but I guess we're doing it inside, boys.
We're doing it. Let's do it. Let's make a spectacle of it.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Fetch, you tell us what it looks like as you leap in. This burly man, this kind of like silken robe that he's wearing, like around him. He's got this long knife in one hand. The rat gets like pulled out. He's staring up at the rafters at the crows, like bitching, and here you come.
It was the knife that initially changed Fetch's tactic, and the witch, although would get frustrated with Fetch, would never hit him. And seeing the blade, there's that animal instinct of danger. And in all the commotion, as his large coat flaps open, it almost presents itself with like a holy glow of like down on the kind of crotch area. And Fetch sees a ball.
Glow.
Fetch, all he wants to do is fetch those balls. So in like a kind of like slow motion leaping bound over one of the tables, knocking off a bowl of soup onto a nearby wizard's face, leaps forward with all legs facing backwards, like real like ninja style, and just flies forward to the crotch area of Gaston and clamps on fucking hard.
And I think we hear Gaston like just scream, right? And I think that the camera, like just as like Fetch like clamps in, the camera like snaps. We like smash cut to the back door where Scritch, you suddenly hear like you know, like the scream, right? Like we see like a window probably shatter, you know, of like
Scritch is gonna go, "I'm gonna be a fleet fox now," and he's just gonna belt in through the back door, trying to see what's going on.
Okay.
He needs to get into this building.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes,
he
he
does.
does.
I'm gonna have you make a quick roll here, Scritch. With the
no.
difficulty of 6, this is tough. I think.
Yeah, I got 2 danger on me, I think.
Oh no, you do. You do have 2 danger.
Just don't roll
You
a
can
1.
do it. You can do it.
+2.
Oh, yeah, this is terrible. So I think that Scritch, you like leap up over like the low part of the door, right? And I think that the cook is like still there, standing in the back. These like vines are kind of like growing down from the thing. I think that like you have a view as you hit the ground in the kitchen of this man in his robe with the knife, the dog like hanging from his crotch, and I think that the cook is like, son of a bitch, and he just like kicks you hard, right? And you go like rolling over and smash into the stove. Fur burns, some of the like feathers. Right?
Oh, let's get fire in on this as well. Why not?
Yeah. And I think that meanwhile, like probably Flapton from the other room, the angle that you have at the base of the door, you see this. You see Scritch has like leapt into the kitchen in the back, and now like there's a cook involved back there battering and beating on him. Oh gosh, poor Scritch is in bad shape.
Hold on, is it just roll a 2 or with modifiers added?
Oh no, you should have had a modifier. I think you get to
Oh,
add
okay,
your
then it's
quit.
3. Oh, then it's a 3.
Okay,
two,
great.
three.
So then that's not that bad. So I think that he goes to kick you.
Only slightly.
Yeah, I
changed.
think he goes to kick you, but he isn't really able to, and you have to dart around and like clip the stove. But actually, you're in the kitchen, but now they know you're all here. So let me like circle back around here. I think that Banapan, you're the most untethered to anything. What are you doing in the midst of all of this?
I think I think I kind of look down to dinner, and I say, where do you need to go? As you kind of figure out where to drop him off.
me off already.
Because I think I still got hold of you,
Yeah.
right? Because I couldn't find another
Yeah.
mouse, rat or
Okay.
mouse. So I'm going to kind of drop you somewhere wherever you want to go.
Oh God. Okay. I fully thought I was already on the ground. Hang on.
You're flying, mate.
Okay, all right. Well, just take me back. Take me back. Let's do this.
So I think Banapan's going to then fly back and like drop them down onto the same spot. Do you want to go back onto the neck?
As he's hang on. As he's screaming and mouth open.
Oh no!
Yes.
Yes.
He might eat me.
Yes.
Let's do it.
well,
I'm gonna drop, curl up into a ball like a Olympic diver, and
You're trying to dive into his mouth. Of the screaming Gaston is like staring up in the air. There's this cacophony of crows, like calling
well, we got to kill him
and
somehow.
screaming, and so you
Exactly.
drop the rat down into his mouth. Okay.
Eat him from the inside out.
And I think then I would like to fly up to the rafters and sit with all the crows and just watch.
Oh, what am I doing?
This is pretty wild.
I just love that face. Shit.
Okay.
What have I done?
Okay, I think dinner that this is like a fierce roll for you to like make this dive and land in his mouth as the dog is like working away. I think that the difficulty is only 6 because Gaston is desperately confused, but there's definitely danger. So you're rolling fierce.
I wanted to get to
That is a 3.
Ooh, okay.
We're good at this.
So you failed and accumulated another point of danger, which I think brings you to 3 dinner. Is that correct? Okay, so this is not like disastrous yet, but he drops you. Yeah, it was very close. He drops you, and you clearly like you miss the mark, right? The momentum like carries you too far, and I think you like bounce off Gaston's forehead and like tumble to the ground where you like smash hard on your back. And I think it's at this point that we hear like, and you like look over and there's like an enormous fucking tabby cat underneath one of the tables, like. it like leaps out after you, right? While meanwhile, like poor Scritch is getting chased around in the kitchen by the chef who's got like a frying pan in one hand, right? And he's like, "There's a fox in here! There's a fox in the kitchen!" You know,
You can't hit what you can't catch, motherfucker!
It's like this tumbling commotion. Batapan, like unconcerned, just works his way up to like the rafters where he like sits with the crows. Fetch, you're like working Gaston, as it were. And so Flapton, what's going on with you?
Too many people need help now. I can't help
It's
them
a
all.
total madhouse.
It's a madhouse. Oh shit.
Teamwork.
I think if I can help Scritch can help Dinner and attack Gaston. So
Start the domino effect. Let's get this going.
We're starting the domino effect if we can. So I'm gonna start attacking the face, going for his eyes because we don't need his eyes.
Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah, we need their eyes. Whoops.
We need Gaston's eyes, not the cook's.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
I was told I need to retrieve something spherical. That's all I was told.
That is true. We didn't tell you what we needed exactly because we would lose it otherwise.
Oh my gosh. So
You may fetch it.
I think you're just trying to like distract him and attack him to like get him off of Scritch so Scritch can like get to Dinner. Okay.
Yeah. So it's all flapping in the face, pecking the dome head because it's nice and shiny.
So I think it's going to be a fierce roll with the difficulty of 6 as the cook is like very fixated on the fox and is like screaming and yelling about the fox.
Dice tell me to do this time.
Oh, yeah. Flapton is like clearly the most competent member of this group here. The big magpie energy coming in strong. And so Flapton, like you like sail into the kitchen and are like zooming around the cook's face. And he's just like wildly like swinging this frying pan, which Scritch like is like liberated you from his focus for the moment and his ire. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Well, Scritch is going to see that tabby cat going after his good buddy Scarf there, and he is going
Scarf Dinner.
Scarf. Yeah. Dinner scarf. It's a dinner scarf, and he will make a beeline, and like he'll try and make himself as terrifying looking as possible, or as ugly and fierce as possible, and dive after this tabby cat. Going, come here, you feline fecker! Feel the wrath of Scritch.
So I think then that Scritch is going to make like a fierce roll, and it's just a difficulty probably of 6. Yes, 7 plus 2 is 9. So I think that we see like the mangy, scorched, wounded, bloody, like owl feather, like Scritch come like racing.
Yeah, the owl fox.
Yeah, exactly. Come like racing into the common room where he dives under the table and like hammers into the side of this cat. And there's suddenly like a battle happening, right? As like we hear this alley cat. Like screaming, and I think that the patrons are like, "What's happening in this place?" The wizard who like carried Banapan in is like, "My word, this is very unusual. I've not been to holy days like this." Gaston, meanwhile, he's still got a dog tethered to him, so I have to ask, Fetch, what are you doing in the midst of all of this chaos?
I think that Fetch has a singular mission now, and that's either he gets separated from the balls or the balls are separated from Gaston.
Okay. I think at this point, Gaston's attention has like shifted from the crows to the dog in front of you. So I think we're going to have you make another fierce roll. And I think, quite frankly, this is going to be very difficult. I think we have to go for a difficulty of 9. And it's definitely dangerous. So go for it.
Come on, Fetch, be a good boy. Yeah!
Who's a good boy, Fetch?
There it is.
Good boy.
Fetch is the best boy.
I was so worried because there's a knife involved.
Oh yeah, this is serious. So I think that like the pitch of Gaston's scream just like escalates. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, like this is like an acapella. He's like just screaming as you all see Fetch like pull himself away. The knife falls to the ground as Gaston like doubles over, wrapping his arms around his midsection. Yeah, exactly. It's a very immigrant song.
Nobody sings like Gaston.
Yeah, exactly.
Falsetto, quite like us.
Exactly.
Became a castrati very quickly.
So, I think up in the rafters. Can I talk to these crows?
Yes.
Am I able to talk?
Yes,
to
you could talk to other
like
creatures like you for sure.
Brothers and sisters, the time has come to destroy the two legs. You are a murderer. But leave the eyes for me.
And I think the crows are just like, we do love the eyes, but so be it. You know, as like this murderous crows like descends off the rafter, and at this point, I'm gonna cut to you, Dinner. Scritch is like tangling with this big orange tabby cat. They're like rolling, and Scritch has clearly got the better of him. You know, Scritch is from the woods. This cat is a fat, lazy bastard in this human town. What do you want to do here, Dinner?
So Gaston's occupied. Jump back up his arm or whatever I can get up to try and get onto the back of Gaston's head,
Yes.
and do the same thing that I did to the witch at the beginning. And I want to try and open his eyes up and look up at the owl. Like, huh?
Okay. I think that with that, I think we're gonna have you make a sly roll, right? It's gonna be another sly roll, and I think Gaston is in like really bad shape, and the difficulty drops down probably to like 7. You know, it is dangerous though.
5, 6, 7. I've got 2 to sly.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. So with that, Dinner like scurries up the back of Gaston, like kind of crawling over his face, and like grabs his eyelids, pulling them back with his strange little rat hands. Gaston at this point is just like like wailing in horrible pain. You know, that's Dinner.
This turned into the South Park kind of critter episode very quickly.
This is extraordinarily brutal. So yeah, Gaston is like really in bad shape. Fetch has got what he came for. Yeah, Fetch, what are you doing as you've now like extracted what you were looking for here?
I've started proudly dancing with the balls hanging from my mouth.
Oh gosh. And so Flapton, what about you?
Oh
no, did we lose Joe for a moment?
Joe, you good? Okay. All right. We need them eyes, but definitely Banapan's talons are better for that. So
Magpies use tools.
Oh,
do they now?
Yeah,
but
they're smart.
I don't have any magpies out here, so
they're very
I don't know
clever.
how to deal with them.
They're very clever.
Up the crow species, you could get a spoon. I can go all yogurt on Gaston's ass.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, well, in that case, I am in the kitchen.
You sure are.
You know what they say, one for sorrow.
The callback. There is, there's cutlery and utensils and implements all over the place. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here. We could jump away. I don't mean to like put you on the spot. I just want to make sure I'm tagging.
No. I mean, hey, it has to go all the way. Is there a melon spoon around here?
Absolutely, yeah. There's like a magnificent platter of like
Nice.
honeydews and cantaloupes with like the ball or spoon like kind of like set like right into it. I think that like one of like the kitchen helpers is kind of like just peering out into the common room like, by the heavens, it's madness. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely gonna have to grab that melon baller and bring it out for those that could probably use it better than I
Okay,
could.
so we see you flap it, like dart down, like woof, grabbing the melon baller up. Is it in your beak or you got it in your feet? Where are you holding it?
I think due to its weight, it'd probably have to be
Okay,
feet.
so you
It's
like
probably can hold in the beak
you
very
like
well.
snatch up the melon baller with the feet. I think we see you like flying in, and as you kind of like cross the threshold, the doorway entering the common room, I think we just see the single ball of melon fall, this perfect spherical orb, where it like bounces like twice, you know, the like liquid spraying off of it as the camera pans to fetch like, you know, like dangling participles out of his mouth. Banapan like peering down from the rafter. The crows are descending, right? And I think at this point, Scritch, the tabby cat, has like leapt away from you, like is like running, right? The crows are descending. Scritch, what would you like to do?
I'm trying to think, is Scritch going to chase the cat or actually
You've been helping.
Roll a d10. Roll a d10. Wisdom save.
I would like to rage. No. Okay, Scritch is going. Yeah, Scritch is going for the throat because he sees that the cat is going away. He says he's done his duty. He's been a very fierce fox, and he feels very good about it. And he will see his lovely dinner scarf pull back the eyes, which I would assume will kind of make the throat go a little bit back. So Scritch is gonna lick his lips and go, "Now's your time. Now's the time," and leap for the throat.
Oh my God. Okay, Scritch, I think that means that you're going to be making a fierce roll. I think Gaston's in pretty bad shape, so you're going to roll 1d10 plus your fierce. I think the difficulty is 7 probably, as you want to like get his
50-50.
throat, and I think that it's definitely dangerous.
50-50, baby.
That's great.
We love a
Come on.
50-50.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
Yay!
No.
No, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, I thought I rolled a 6 and then added my modifier. I went into advanced rolls.
No, it's no problem. I think that you come like jumping at him, and as you fail, that's unfortunate. You're going to accumulate another point of danger here.
He's got it. He's a dangerous kind of
Yeah,
fox. He's all right.
Clearly
Yeah,
that
man.
much, and I think it's at this
that
point that we see like this kind of like portly fellow come like staggering down the steps, like Gaston, oh my word, I'm so sorry, and he like leaps in and intercepting you, kind of like swatting you down out of the air, Scritch, where you like kind of bounce, like cracking off the stone, feathers tumbling off of you, this greasy blood stain like sliding across the floor as this portly little fellow leaps in front, and I think Gaston is like squealing in this high-pitched voice, like, "Please help me!"
Rich is just kind of twitching on the ground. Going, did it at least look cool?
Banapan, as you sit in the rafters in the midst of all of this, Dinner is like holding the eyelids back. Scritch has been deflected. Fetch is like proudly, presenting his trophy. And you see your friend Flapton come flying out of the kitchen with a melon baller clutched in its talons. What would you like to do?
Oh, I think
This
I
is
need to time
madness.
this. I need to time this right. So I think
All right.
what she would like to do is sort of swoop down because it's like the eyes are available. Does she know what a melon baller is? Probably not.
I mean, it looks like it looks like I can scoop something at the very least. I mean, that's what it looks. That's why I grabbed it.
I think I'd like to kind of swoop down, and as somebody uses that melon baller and like pop them out, she should go and just grab them as they kind of go.
Oh
past.
my god,
That's
it's horrible.
that's the
a great
plan.
sound
That's a kind of thought as she comes through, because she thinks that if she goes for the eyes, she'll crush the eyes and
Right.
pop them out. So she's going to kind of slowly begin to swoop down towards the eyes for that.
So it looks like it's gonna be a collab between Dinner and Flapton to ball out those eyes.
So it's
I hope
literally
you're ready, Dinner.
It's literally the timing of like Flapton coming in with the baller, and you're gonna try to like push it to just like whoop, like scoop the eye out as the pair of you kind of converge on Gaston's face. Is that what I'm like? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's something maybe that Dinner might need to use the baller to actually pop them. so
Yeah.
that I could grab them out of the midair, and then those stalks will kind of like.
Oh God.
Okay.
We're going to remove every orb from this man we can.
So I think that dinner, you're going to have to probably make like a clever roll here to manipulate the melon baller properly as Flapton comes like rolling in with it, right? Flapton's like converging on the face. You turn, you see like, the owl's coming down. 8. Excellent.
9 total.
9. Got a +1.
Oh yeah, so I think that we see Flapton like coming up, and Dinner like with one paw just like shoves the melon ball in, and now like Gaston's just yeah, and we hear
I'm
the
starting to feel sorry for this guy.
the popping,
It is a holy day.
the sickening popping sound as the eye like rolls out, and you're able to kind of like I think you use the nose kind of like a fulcrum, driving the other side in and like rotating with your little rat hand, the sickening pop as we see Gaston's little like sidekick is like got his back to him. He's staring down at Scritch the fox like, get thee gone! How dare you come and stand before Gaston? Meanwhile, now I think that, I think that Banapan is going to have to make probably a quick roll to extract Dinner and both the eyes from Gaston's face here. And I think the difficulty is probably like 7, as there's a lot of chaos happening.
Right, 50-50.
And it's definitely dangerous.
Oh,
8!
Yes!
8, Banapan. You grab up
I
the rat.
am the night bird, the bird of death. Hear me, Dark Lord.
Like swings down.
I think that you like drop down in, grabbing up the rat as you have so many times already today. And I think that Dinner, you're like holding the kind of melon baller like a pair of dumbbells, like balancing it with the eyes kind of like perched on either side. There's that moment of like, we got to get like our pitch just right, It looks like one of the eyes like might be rolling out here. Fetch, what's happening with you? You see all of this. You see the owl like grab the rat off the face. Gaston at this point, like his hands to his head, blood like running down, like there's blood everywhere,
Home, Fetch, home! I'm gonna go home!
Fetch is having the time of his life.
Yeah, home!
Tail wagging fucking furiously left and right. Is Gaston's friend, is he looking like he's getting close to the rest of our animals?
Oh yeah, I think that Gaston is just like, kill them all, please, And I think that we see this small, like portly fellow, like beginning to like stalk towards Scritch, yeah. I think probably he's got like a little like hand crossbow, He's like chink and like starting to like load it up, like putting a bolt onto it, like getting ready to maybe take a shot at somebody here.
Excellent. Well, after popping the tapioca in his mouth, Fetch is gonna look for a new target, and seeing the exposed arm, Fetch is gonna go into full bloodlust, and just gonna go straight for the forearm that was holding the crossbow of the Gaston's friend.
Okay, let's have you make a fierce roll. It's definitely going to be dangerous. I think the difficulty's probably 7.
Good. That's how I like it. 7.
Excellent, just right. And so I think we see like this little portly fellow. He like cocks the crossbow and like points it down right at Scritch, and suddenly like boom, like Fetch like grabbing into him, and he's like Rah! Like yelling as like you've got his arm. You're kind of like hammering on him. Scritch, what do you want to do here?
Well, Scritch is suddenly feeling a lot more brave after seeing his good buddy take out the one arm. So he is going to try go for the other arm. So He's got one arm, and he's gonna try and crucify, like,
My
one-armed man,
want to
Marty.
see this guy.
arms akimbo this guy.
So I think it's
And as he said, he's gonna look over his buddies. We're buddies, aren't we? We're gonna be buddies forever, aren't we, Fetch?
I think that it's the same roll. I think it's a fierce roll with a difficulty of 7. It's definitely dangerous.
Oh, this has been going
Misfits
so
for life.
well for me so
Oh,
far.
I know. Oh, hell yes.
Finally.
Friends for life.
I'm never
Alive! I can taste the blood!
I think that yeah, you like get a hold of the other arm, and now this small fat man is kind of like pirouetting with the dog on one arm and the fox owl on the other, and he's like wailing. Gaston is like collapsed to the ground, right? I think he's just like weeping from like his bloody empty eye sockets, like you know. And I think at this point one of the wizards is like, the wizard probably who carried Bannerpin in is like, I've had enough of this, and like kind of wiggles his hat around, and we see him like reaching into a pouch where he pulls out this small ball. And I think that Bannerpin, you can like smell it. You've been around a lot of bats in the woods, like the guano and the sulfur, as he's kind of like rolling this ball in his hands. And he's just like, we've told you too many times, you insipid plebeians. This is the high holy day of the academy. How dare you allow these hijinks to impugn our ceremonies? Now you will all burn. Now you will face the wrath of the great creator of the arcane. You fools! And he begins like conjuring words, you know, like murmuring arcane formula. It's like
That was
he's
excellent.
rolling like this ball.
Holding this bat shit.
Yeah, of bat shit in his fingers. Let's just like gut check here. So we've got like the small fat man with a fox on one arm, a dog on the other. We've got an owl carrying a rat, carrying a melon ball, or carrying 2 eyeballs, sailing through the common room for the threshold. And then we have the magpie flapped, and you, sir, are like a murder of crows, which you conjured has descended from the rafters. The peasants are like just covering their heads, screaming. It's a whole Hitchcock operation happening around you. What are you all doing here?
Home!
We
Go
don't know.
home!
None of us know why we're doing it.
Scritch wants a finger.
presence of magic and having lived with a witch, I think that is it feasible to say that magic was the greatest threat in the house, despite the witch being good? Any of her spells would invoke the kind of scared instinct of all of the animals. So would that induce fear in Fetch, seeing not a crossbow but the potential use of something arcane?
I think that we can say, like, given that you're all familiars and you all have your own magic, you realize it's dangerous. You know, there is real danger happening here. Yeah. And I think the witch hated these damnable wizards and their college and their strange religion. So, yeah, I think you know this is bad.
Time to
I think Fetch is going to release the arm of the friend with 2 testicles, and is going to start bolting towards the door, still a little bit of ball hanging out of his mouth, and jump at the door to push it violently open, creating some sort of an escape.
Okay, we're going to have you make a fierce roll with the difficulty of 7, probably again to like smash the door open. Go for a Fetch.
Great. Oh, not good. Only a 4.
That's a 4. That's bad. You're going to pick up another point of danger here. So I think we see Fetch like charge away from like this poor fellow and leap, like, you know, the head goes down, the shoulder smashes into the door, and you guys just hear like whomp, and like Fetch like crashes to the ground. The door like still closed. That's Fetch. What about Scritch? What do you?
It's a pull door.
Sure is. It sure is. If you recall, you pushed it open from the outside.
I do. I remember that now.
Scritch, like, I think that you're now off balance, right? As like the dog comes off and like suddenly like this little fellow is like spinning, screaming. What would you like to do, Scritch?
Scritch wants a trophy from this because he's a little mad and bloodlusty, and he's very damaged. Like half of his fur fur is singed off. The other half is covered in bloody owl feathers and everything. So he wants a little something. So he's gonna try and oh god, it's gonna go so badly off the pinky finger of the hand he's attached to.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think that you're going to have to roll a fierce roll with the difficulty of 8. I think that like there's bone here, whereas like Fetch has a little bit of a bigger mouth and was just working with more fleshy materials before. So let's see what you got.
Yeah, but he's gonna try like he's gonna get his back legs bite and then try and kick off and like fling himself backwards as he's doing it.
Got it.
Just so he's not still on
the acrobatic.
Once I inevitably roll this.
And so you've got some good danger happening here, by the way, too. Okay.
I think I'm in big trouble here.
How much danger did you have? Did you actually have? Were you at 4 or just 3 danger? I had you at 3.
3 danger.
Okay, so now you're at 4, but I think you fail. I think that where you're like you chomp down, we hear like as like bone cracks, but you're not quite able to like extract the finger from his hand. And I think that his other hand like rolls around and like kind of grabs you and like smashes you down into the ground at his feet. He doesn't like have you. Your danger has increased. Flapton, what are you doing in the midst of this?
All right. I mean, to me, it's time to leave, and because we got the eyes. You know, Banapan's doing the heavy lifting, so I'm just gonna be flying interference. So I'm just gonna basically be flying and flapping around really fast, around Banapan just to be interference if anything tries to go for Banapan.
Okay, and so I guess Dinner, like you're kind of in an immobile position. It's like Banapan's holding you. So I'll say to Banapan, what are you trying to do?
Okay, I'm looking for exit. I think.
Can I get to the kitchen?
Yeah, because I think I saw Scritch come through the kitchen, so I think there's an open
door.
There
sure is. It's like
so I'm
the Dutch door.
I'm gonna fly into the kitchen.
The like top half's open, so we see Banapan like circle the common room. The crows like everywhere. People are screaming in this cacophony. Banapan like sails past like the maid, like where's the melon baller? And the cook is just like damn the melon! He's like still like ripping vines off of the ceiling.
Screw the melon baller. We got one going on here.
And so Banapan like.
Cantaloupe isn't going to serve itself.
I think, Banapan, you're going to have to probably roll a quick roll with the difficulty of, let's say, a 7 because of the vines and the cook and, like, what's happening in the kitchen to kind of make your way out the back door.
Oh, there's a 3.
Oh, Banapan. How much danger did you have? I only had you at 1, I think.
I had it 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1. So I think as you're coming in, I think that, like, the waitress is like, that owl is a rat. That is a melon ball. Oh my god! And I think that at this point the cook turns like, "What in the fuck is happening?" And he like swings the cast iron skillet and smashes you. And I think that you drop Dinner. You fall to the ground, and I think that you're able to land easily. You're on probably like a big like serving area, a workspace here in the kitchen, but I think we see the eyes like bumble out of the melon baller and start like rolling in separate directions across the table. So Dinner, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna hang on. Have I dropped from his hand?
Yeah, I think Banapan like gets hit with the cast iron pan and drops you onto like a big counter that we have food kind of spread out everywhere. The melon halves. There are like other like pieces and bits of fruit. There's like a stack of pancakes. There's a big platter of like bacon and blood sausages and this whole deal. And like we see the eyeballs kind of like roll in separate directions. I think one of them lands in a bowl of grapes. Actually, right? Like one of the eyes is like in the bowl of grapes, the other one rolling over towards the melons,
Okay, I'm gonna scamper onto the table and grab a piece of ham. Like I'm talking like thin sliced, honey
only
roasted.
The best for Gaston.
Waffle thin.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna try and go and whichever one's closer, I'm gonna go and try and collect one of the eyes and basically create like a haversack, sort of like on the stick, and use it as a bag style thing. And so I'm going to collect one, and if the second one, but if they've gone opposite way, it's just one.
The origins of Pizza Rat.
Yeah.
That's too good. I think I'm gonna have you make a clever roll with the difficulty of 6 to see if you can properly fold the ham in order to like bundle up this eyeball.
Clever's 1, 4.
Oh, that's
I'm just looking at the ham like.
well, I think like it's all very slippery and like greasy, you know. I think you're like rolling the ham. You're trying. It's big. It's like bigger probably than you are. You're trying to roll the ham. I think the eyeball is like slips out of the side and rolls off the table. Like it's rolling like away from you, right? So at this point, I'm gonna just like circle back to Flapton as you're trying to like create space for Banapan to like kind of help him get out. You see this madness now in the kitchen. There's one eye still in the bowl of grapes. Right. One is rolled off the table. Dinner has a piece of ham. Banapan is like getting chased around by the cook with the cast iron skillet.
So I'm sure everyone in the audience here wants more chaos because I sure do.
Yeah.
It's been not nearly chaotic enough.
It has not been chaotic enough because I'm gonna have to try casting another distract/confuse in the kitchen.
Yes.
And obviously that means the stove just goes up in flames.
Yes.
Let's see what the dice say.
So
do they want me to finally get danger, or is it going to succeed?
Oh yeah,
I finally get danger.
So you try to like make the stove explode with fire, but actually like it just I think that like what happens is like smoke starts to like billow out of like the stovepipe, and because like you're up high near the like ceiling, right, as this bird, the smoke is starting to like collect around the roof, and you're like you're like losing vision, your eyes are like burning, you're breathing in this stinking smoke. Meanwhile, we hear the conjuring voice of the wizard in the back room. You've now accumulated a point of danger, and we jump back into the common room where Fetch, this wizard is like preparing to cast this spell. You have this like preternatural instinct to escape. You'd smashed into the door, unable to do anything. What do you want to do now?
So I've seen the rest of our little ramshackle group head towards the back entrance, but Scritch is still in the room.
Oh yeah, Scritch is like at the wizard's feet, or at I'm sorry, like the sidekick's feet. Maybe let's call him LeFleur for the sake of things, you know.
Excellent. The knife that Gaston was holding, is that now on the floor?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Fetch is gonna fetch. It's dangerous, more dangerous than a rabid dog with a knife in its
So
mouth.
we see this big like Basset kind of dog come like lumbering over, and you're able to get the knife in your mouth, I think, pretty easily. You know, you've got the knife now, like in your teeth. Now what?
I'm gonna try and shoulder up beside Scritch. So now adding more threat to this wizard, and with a knife in my mouth, say to Scritch, "I think we gotta go out the back."
Eh? What?
I think we gotta go out the back.
It's about 11. Why?
And Fetch will start trying to.
I understand.
The knife towards the wizard.
I have to try it now. Like, we're going to go. there you go. The actual
on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know you got his sack.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, we are. We're Americans. There's a knife everywhere, all times. Got to have a knife. I can't sit at my computer without a knife. So, Scritch, what do you want to do?
To be fair,
really. You guys
he's gonna see his buddy, and he's gonna hopefully kind of get the idea. It's like, yeah, okay, we should go, and hopefully with him and Fetch, they're gonna beeline towards the kitchen.
So the pair of
But on the way, he realizes that he's had a horrible time in this building. Like, he's been set on fire, he's been hit with things, he's almost gotten stabbed. This building might need to go. So he's going to look over to the stove that had just been kind of smoking and everything.
Belching smoke out of the stovepipe near the ceiling,
And he's going to turn to his best buddy Fetch and go, if I don't make it out of this, tell everybody I love them and they're all my best friends. And he's gonna cast plant growth around with the most flammable kind of bark or
Yeah,
wood around
yeah.
the stove to try and set this place on fucking
Oh
fire.
yeah, I think you're gonna you're like trying to create white birch trees, right? You remember your beautiful witch used to bring that birch bark in, and even when it's still on the tree itself, it just roars. And so go ahead and roll your plant growth.
I am a firefox! Call me Mozilla!
Really, roll your plant growth. Now your danger scritch is at 4. I think the difficulty is 6. This is a dangerous roll. Go for it. Just a straight roll. 1d10.
Come on, Scritch.
Oh!
Yeah!
Yes! So I think we see like these trees, these little like saplings begin to like surge up all around the stove. I think we see the stove like clanking, clanking, as like it rumbles a little bit. Trees kind of coming up underneath it, and the stovepipe unseats, right? And now the whole kitchen is filling with smoke. We hear the conjuring wizard in the back room, the screaming crows, right? The like stove tilts a little bit. Embers start to like tumble at the front as the doors like opens, right? And fire begins to like grow around the base of it. Fetch has got
And Scritch is exhausted, so he's going to try and latch onto his buddy Basset Hound's back and was like, get me out of here!
So the dog with the fox on his back, with the knife in his teeth. Meanwhile, Dinner.
Oh, the fox and the
I know,
hound.
it's so good. Meanwhile, Dinner, you're still on the table. One of the eyeballs is like fallen off and rolled away. It's like down on the floor somewhere. The birds are lost in the smoke up near the ceiling, but there is still an eyeball in the bowl of grapes. What would you like to do? And you've
I'm going to go for the bowl of grapes. Let's get this. I'm going to abandon the ham.
I'm like trailing out of your
Never
mouth like a
abandon the
ham rat.
We never leave a ham behind.
You know what? No. I'm going to. No, that one went too small. I was thinking of tying them together and making like a cape and just having them on my back, but that would kill me.
No, I might carry one and leave the other for Banapan to carry.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. If Banapan's still in the air, I'm gonna hold it up, grab one of them and hold it up in the air to hopefully you can even just grab the eyeball or me and the eyeball, and holding it almost like a sacrificial counter.
So yeah.
Hopefully, I mean,
Is the
I would
iris
say-
looking at you or looking up?
Look at what I'm thinking is actually, Banapan should just grab the eyeball because you can go down on the floor, grab the other eyeball, and go back through the hole you came in at with the eyeball, carrying it.
I think the Banapan looks like flapping around and sort of trying to call to you. What's the magpie called again? Sorry, Flapton.
Flapton.
Try to shout to Flapton, and I say, I'll get dinner. You get the eyeball. And I sort of sweep down and grab dinner and the eyeball from the counter, in the hope that Flapton will get other eye from the floor.
Okay.
I think.
Banapan, I think you're able to like swoop down. You snatch Dinner.
The smoke.
Yep. Yeah. There's this huge of roll of smoke that like wafts across, right? You snatch up Dinner. Dinner, you tuck the eyeball in tight. Banapan, you're able to like sail out the back. Flapton, what are you doing?
I guess I'm going for the other eyeball.
Okay, so you're going to like dive down out of the smoke to snatch the other eyeball. I think that it's like rolling, and I think that I think I'm going to have you make a quick roll with a difficulty of 6, as at this point, like, people are starting to like surge back here into the kitchen to kind of make their way out of the back door in like terror and fear.
Just made it.
Nice, just made it.
Yes.
So I think we see you like snatch down and like grab this eyeball like deftly with your magpie talons, right? And you like sail up following Banapan out of the back. Meanwhile, Fetch and Scritch, Fetch, I think that you're gonna have to do something to get out of the back. There's like a low kind of door, right? The door is half open and the bottom part of it closed. Scritch is like clinging to your back. You got the knife in your teeth. How do you try to take the door?
Yeah, because Scritch jumped over it once, so it's still there.
Well, the quick brown fox was trying to jump over the lazy dog.
Oh, well done. So it's like a bar top is open, bottom is closed. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it. Yep.
Fetch with Scritch on his back is gonna try and run as quickly to the door as possible, and then stop trying to catapult Scritch over over the open barn door. and
So
then
it'll be
we'll
a
try
flying
to
fox.
jump over themselves.
Go ahead and make a fierce roll. I think this is definitely dangerous as there's people running around. The difficulty's probably going to be 7 because that's a clever maneuver.
Okay, here we go.
That chicken run.
No!
Oh,
Oh, you slam him into the door.
Fetch now equal in danger to Scritch. I think that Scritch like catches the vault, and we see that like the owl, feathered, bloody, wounded fox like cartwheel out of the top. You land like hard outside, Scritch. Feathers like like tumbling off around you. But I think that you smash hard into the door, Fetch. Like you were not prepared for the amount of grease and blood and like everything that's happening back here in this kitchen, and like you've now crashed into the door, accumulating another danger.
For the second.
Yes, both doors now. It's like the dog like ping ponging back and forth through the end.
just lost in this maze.
He's used to people opening doors for him. He doesn't know how.
Oh yeah, and I think that it's at this point that we hear like this crescendo of chanting coming from like the inn behind the back wall. There's just smoke rolling out of the side. We see like the second story like fire starting to like pour out of like one of the windows as the kitchen is like thoroughly burning now. And it's at this point that there's like an erupting kind of like explosion. The glass blows out from all the windows on the first story of this place. I think like the whole building like kind of like shudders as this fireball erupts. And yeah, I think that the camera like pans around to the other side and we see the wizard like striding out the front door of the place, along with like the short, squat like assistant, his finger like bleeding, and yeah, there's just like groans of like pain and like terror coming from inside from those who survived this fireball that just erupted in the front room, right? But meanwhile, Fetch, this place is like a total nightmare. You're still in here, and I think that the cook like stands looming over you, and he's like, I fucking hate dogs. And he's got like the pan in one hand and the cleaver in the other, like, I hate dogs more than I fucking hate wizards. And I think that he's gonna like, and I don't know why you've got that knife, but I'm gonna fucking take it from you. I think he swings at you. And
I brought a knife to a pan fight.
You sure did. I think that I need you to make a quick roll against the difficulty of 7. It's definitely dangerous as the cook, like in the midst of this, he's chosen like death and violence. He's gonna go down with this kitchen.
The cook always goes down.
Yeah, he sure does. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's party. Let's do this. 7.
Excellent. And I think that with that, like, you're able to kind of like dart out of the way in between his legs, and he kind of like trips and stumbles, like falling into the half open barn door that sort of smashes open as he tumbles out into the street. And you're able to like dart out of the back as like this fireball is like blasted off in the common room. People are dead and dying. The crows have been like obliterated. You know, there's like this like stink.
Oh
of,
no!
Yeah. Oh no, the crows are all dead. It wasn't you.
I don't really like crows.
Yeah, there were two separate things. You set fire to the kitchen, but the wizard popped off a fireball in the front room and like killed all the patrons. Gaston, I think that like we see like I think we see a lingering shot of the common room, right? Scorched and burned, smoke rolling in as the kitchen is like on fire. Gaston lays on the floor like a charred, burned mess. His eyes gone, you know, missing all of like his orbs, really. And yeah. The 5 of you are now like in this back alley, and I think we hear like alarm bells, like the ringing of like bells, bong, 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 and like the shouts of commotion in the streets, that like the revolution has begun. We must put down these peasants once and for all. To arms, to arms! It is the time for the purge, you know. And I think that we see like purple robed wizards.
Oh my God, we are great.
Purple robed wizards.
We did it, everybody! We saved the city!
I think we see like purple robed wizards are literally like flying out of the windows of the tower on brooms and carpets. You know what I mean? Their hats like trailing behind them. They have wands. There's like lightning and fire erupting all over the place. Commoners are kind of running, and the 5 of you are in the alley behind the inn. So like, what are you gonna do?
I think the birds just need to fly off into the skies. They got the eyes.
We just got to book it. We got to get out
Yeah.
of here.
Go get out of here.
Still holding on.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn back to the chef and go, yeah, you recognize the fucking alpha.
I think Bannerpan's going to look to the guys and go, let's be honest. You two will not escape. We must run. We must get these eyes back to the witch. That is the priority.
Oh, God.
You treacherous bastard. Never trust.
I'm sorry, but that is the reality of the situation.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, Fetch. You were my favorite.
Is this because of Donkey Kong, Joe? Is this what?
No,
right now?
no. This is Bannerpan's movement toward Lord, and like they definitely. This is what they think. Being more clever, this is what they think is the best option: is get these eyes to the witch to bring her back. That's the priority in their mind. But that's what they kind of present as an option to everybody.
So Bannerpan has dinner in one eyeball, and Flapkin, you have the other eyeball. Are you gonna follow your owl companion and dinner? Are you like down with this? Are you gonna like stay with you?
Yeah, I'll just hold on. I mean, to be fair, I've not got much choice in the matter. I'm more being held on to, and I'm holding on to the eyeball. So I'll be taken where I get taken to.
Okay, so I think that we see like the owl and the magpie begin to fly away as like poor Scritch and Fetch are left like standing in the alley.
Aidan, don't look so
The building
hurt.
is burning. And I think
objective going into this.
I think that is the owl and the magpie, right? The camera like lingers. We see the two birds, the rat dangling from the owl's feet, like trail over the wall. I think that around, like it suddenly the camera like shifts back down into the alley, right? And it's like an over-the-shoulder perspective of like the hulking kind of dog, the scrappy, bedraggled, like wrecked fox next to him, and around like the corner, right, like the same kind of place that all of you entered when you showed up at this inn at the beginning. I think we see LeFleur, and I think we see the wizard that was used to come in, who just cast this fireball, and it's a very like kind of Western like showdown moment as the two of them come around turning into the alley, and I think we hear the wizard like, I believe these are the familiars of that hideous witch. She would never conform. She was a radical. Always whispering to these peasants that there is another way. But there is no other way. They will either swear to the doctrine of the Magi College, or they will all burn. And I believe these poor bastards killed your associate because they think that he killed her. And I think at this point, LeFleur just laughs like, you incompetent fools. Gaston is no more than a chisel-jawed blowhard. It was me all along, and now I will kill the pair of you and weave you into a rug.
Oh, God.
For my apartments at the top of the tower, Sorcerer. And I think that, like, the little bastard, like, pulls out his hand crossbow again, his finger, like, bleeding and wrecked from where Squitch ripped it off. And I think that we see the wizard take out, like, a glass rod and a piece of fur, and he begins to kind of, like, rub it, like, let the fun begin, then. Fetch and Scritch, what would you like to do?
Friends forever, right? Friends forever.
Big time, Scritch. We go down. Let's lock him low.
Fetch has got the knife.
We're like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance. We're going for it.
So before the wizard and the other lads have come around the corner, Fetch has like licked Scritch's wound, and has had this like kind of we brothers in arms look at Scritch. And then as the wizard has come around the corner and said all this, now this is going to be a stretch, and tell me if it's too much. However, the ability to speak human, would Fetch remember any spells from the witch?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say that if you want to try to cast a spell, we'll just have to up the difficulty, right? Instead of like a 6, let's call it like, what do you guys think? What's fair here? Do we really push it maybe a 7, an 8?
Depends on the spell, I reckon.
I think go low. Yeah, really low.
It's like golf. The lower the better.
But I mean, looking at the chart, I mean, it would be very challenging or difficult for a dog
to cast magic. I think that unfortunately, I think it's got to be an 8. I think that you could certainly try to cast a spell. Speaking human, yeah. What spell would you like to cast? Is the question.
I think.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Blindness, deafness.
Okay.
To give us an edge, not too high of a spell, but something potentially.
Okay. And so, Scritch, what are you going to do here in this moment?
Summon devil.
Scritch is. Scritch is like he's just in awe of his buddy. He has no idea what he's doing because Scritch doesn't speak human at all. But he's gonna give all of his. He's actually gonna hop on his back and just kind of give him a little. He thinks that he's gonna hop on his back and charge into them, but he sees that he's doing something, so he's just gonna give him a little massage on the back to try and make him feel better.
Oh yeah.
Just try and help him in whatever he's doing. You know, just give him a little ear nuzzle and just like, you got this. You got this. I'm with you all the way. I'm with you all the way.
Inspiration.
It is. I think that, you know what? I'm gonna let you roll with advantage. How about that,
Yes.
Rob? You can roll. The difficulty is 8. You're gonna roll with advantage. So roll 2 10-sided. Let's take the higher roll.
Okay, great. So as Scritch is on Fetch's back, Fetch remembers the use of symbols and rituals. So not knowing what they were, just starts to paw different lines in the dirt in front, and then looks up at attempts to speak human.
I think fuck it. Let's drop the difficulty to 7 then, because you're carving symbols into the ground. Go for it.
Great.
Because the DM really wants this to happen.
Come on.
Okay. First roll is a 7.
Oh,
Do a higher one. I want to go for the crit. Baby.
yeah, do it.
You go for the crit,
Yeah,
baby.
the crit fail. Crit fail.
Okay. So, yep, the 7. You got it.
So yeah, we
there.
see that Fetch has dropped the knife and he starts drawing these symbols with his paws, his claws like dragging, and the blood stains out here in the alley, the soot, the broken glass, and I think that miraculously Fetch has like aligned these things into this perfect, like, powerful geometric shape, and with the fox on your back, I think the wizard is like, by the grace of the Dark One. These are hell beasts enchanted to spell our doom. This is all you. And he turns and like runs. That's like LeFleur has like raised the hand crossbow and he's like, I'm stricken blind. You know what I mean? Like, what? My sight. And I think that he fires and like the crossbow bolt like harmlessly ricochets off the stone of the ground. The pair of you like have a moment to flee and escape.
I'm gonna turn. Do it again. Launch me again. I'm going for the eyes. Give me his eyes. Throw me.
Fetch has just stopped speaking these arcane words and has stopped going like Kalusumara Kalurada. And okay. On the back, starts running. Ducks through the legs of the crossbow, wielding man, and skids to a stop, launching Scritch straight towards the wizard.
Scritch, I'm gonna have you make a.
The wizard? You mean one of the?
Oh yeah, LeFleur. The wizard ran away. Scritch, I'm gonna have you make a roll of fierce, with just a difficulty of 6.
Come on, Scritch.
That's great.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Okay, Scritch, I think that you surge. Having done this just moments before, now you're prepared for it. And I think you sail like an arrow through the air, like the owl fox you were born to be. They may have abandoned you. Those bastards with their wings, but you don't need wings to fly. You don't need talons or melon ballers to rip the eyes from this fucking witch hunter. And I think that you hit LeFleur in the face, and your tiny, scritchy, black claws dig into his sockets, and you rip his eyes from his head, falling to the ground, LeFleur screaming in pain as he staggers back onto the stone. And I think that the scene fades to black, and we open again as we see the owl and the magpie and the dangling rat, the lot of you alighting before this fallen tree in the woods. The green coppery hinges on the door rusted over. Your beautiful witch laying dead in the earth. And so what will the three of you do as you alight around her corpse with these two eyeballs of Gaston?
I think I lay down the rat on the chest. And kind of step back, like expecting something to happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll set the other eye next to Dinner so he can, his paws are a bit more opposable than our talons.
Mm-hmm.
So he can, manage those eyes for us.
Not sure what I'm meant to do with these.
Well, don't lie. We're told to get the eyes, right? That's the magic.
Yeah, well, we've got the eyes.
To happen.
I'll push them up toward her face, probably just streaking blood. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
but I need to get them there, so maybe it needs to go on her eyes.
Yeah, so we you seat the eyes that are kind of like a little squished. One of them's covered in dirt, one of them is like grape juice kind of like smeared all over it. Like you sit them up on her face and yeah, she's still laying there super dead. I don't know if any of the rest of you have ideas.
Well, I mean, at least the witch hunter's dead, right?
I'll pull them down and sort of use my back foot to open her mouth and be like,
put them in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sound idea.
I will flit into the house and grab some just other random, magic components that she's used in the past, and kind of I don't know which
wing of bat, an eye of newt, and you come out with like a petrified toad, right? We see Flapkin is making like trips in and out, like bringing these other ingredients, placing them kind of on her chest, and nothing is happening to no avail.
I think Banner is starting to realize that they've got the wrong eyes, and is now thinking about the betrayal and how she left them behind. About all the time she's gone hunting with Scritch, and sort of watched as God, I've forgotten Rob's name again.
Fetch.
Sorry, Fetch has been able to take the best spot in the room, and it sort of begins to kind of feel mass guilt of what's happened here.
And I think Bannerpan.
I'm sorry, I can't feel guilt. I'm a magpie.
Yeah, that's fine. I think Bannerpan, you hear a voice. I think you hear the voice, Bannerpan, of you've taken the first step in your service to me. Someday,
Dark Lord.
Someday, all the wizards will bow to you. I think that
She stops feeling guilty now. But that was a practical question. So the guilt goes, but the practicality comes back in of we don't have the right eyes.
Oh no, for sure. And I think that as a lot of you sit there, right, Flapton and Bannerpan and Dinner, and you realize well shit, this won't work, and our friends are dead. Well, that was a shame. And I think that sort of we pan a little bit and we tilt, and we see the smoke rising over the forest in the distance, fire burning. I think we could just barely make out the sight of these purple wizards kind of flying over that have fireballs and lightning erupting, people screaming. The purge has begun, But I think that then we come down low into the brush. Probably we see a long fallen log hollowed out. And trotting, here come the pair of them, burned and battered, weathered, covered in ash and blood, their own and others. Fetch and Scritch, you come trotting back into the clearing. I think that Scritch, you have the eyes in your mouth,
Oh, you made it!
And I think that you see your treacherous companions around the body of the witch, still very dead.
going to turn to his buddy and go, "Hey, Fetch, you know what I've been thinking? I think witches only need 2 familiars anyway."
Yes, Aidan, let's do this.
God.
And the 2 fiercest and bloodied and battle-hardened of all the witches' familiars are going to look at, comparatively speaking, the teeny tiny little birds and mouse and rats.
Well, you know what? You can't fly.
So I think
I can fly.
Neither can I.
I think I think she sees you. I think Balapan's just going to turn and just raise her wings forward and just look towards the sky. Like, Dark Lord, take me.
I think we see Flapton like take off flying away, right?
Yeah,
and Dinner.
Flapton's like deuces.
And then so Banapan like raises their wings in preparation for the sacrifice and the new rebirth that will come. And Dinner, what exactly do? You're like sitting on the dead witch's chest. There's all this like Eye of Newt, these like fucking ingredients all around you. The eyeballs are in her mouth, you know.
I don't even know. I've got nothing.
And you get a starling fox and a dog coming at you.
I was taken. I am going to. I am going to use my magic to, and again, not sure if this is a stretch on the magic, but to their wounds.
Oh, amazing! Let's go for it. Go ahead.
Wash clean.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's roll a magic roll. I think that will make the difficulty a 7.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that in this moment, as like the
Comfort.
dog and the fox are like you're like stalking up, you see the magpie take off. You'll have to hunt that bastard down. The owl seems to be prepared for what comes next, but poor Dinner. It rises up on his back feet, like in front of you, and you see him like his little like rat fingers wiggling and waggling, and you've seen him repair and fix things before and clean you, and you feel your wounds healed, the burns ease in their pain, the scrapes and the battered, the bruising around your head from those damnable doors, Fetch, washes away, and you realize that Dinner at least is trying to make amends.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, that's going to make things an awful lot easier.
And so I say to you here, friends, are we rolling the dice? Is this the moment where like it's like the end of the film, we like cut to black as we see the dog and the fox leaping towards the owl above the like witch's corpse, and we fade out here. I think that might be it. I think that's where we leave our session today, right?
Your blood will water my plants.
That took so many turns.
That was amazing.
One day, Rob, we'll duke it out.
Yeah, come at
I
me.
just wanted to like, I guess like the producer part of my brain is like, we got to leave room for the sequel. We got to leave room for the sequel. You know, the people want more. Yeah. We don't want to kill Bannapan right here.
There's such a buddy cop vibe going on here right now.
The next one is The Scritch is Dead.
The Scritch is dead. Long live the Scritch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's absolutely incredible, Philly. Thank you so much. That was absolutely ridiculous.
You all did the lion's share in the work here. That was like masterful. I just was trying to keep up, but that was freaking tastic. You guys are good. I was afraid I might have to kill the dog. I'm not that afraid, but it was good. There was a lot of tension. I tried. I thought it was fun. I had a really good time.
It was awesome.
That was so much fun.
For the talks, he's staying in the Wizard College. The villagers have to be in on it. Well, nope. It was the other.
It was not Gaston at all. It was poor, pathetic LeFou. It's actually like the mastermind, the puppeteer. I don't know how well that played, but I love the idea of like the religious zealots like turning on these poor peasants because of like hijinks. That was fun.
We caused the kid.
I did have a plan in the back of my head. I was like, if this all goes wrong, I'm going to go and become this evil wizard's familiar instead. Screw you guys.
I don't know. I think you took a pretty evil turn.
Yeah, that was your plan.
I think that
you
happened.
put it into action.
Oh yeah, the Owl of Darkness. That was pretty legendary right there. I really hope you all had fun. That was like fascinating and interesting. It's such a weird exercise. Yeah.
So good.
I completely saw that coming though. When the guy came down the stairs and I had the eyeballs, I was like, "These are the wrong eyeballs, aren't they?" I just,
fantastic!
When he came out of the I was like, "Oh God."
I like we talked last night in our little DM chat about like the like spiral prep, right, and the improvisational prep not having all the notes. But I was sitting here last night getting the overlay together and like reading over all the options and trying to like say to myself, God, what am I going to do? And I just was like, I can't even, I have a few like decent ideas that'll fit like in most places that I'll hang on to, but ultimately we have to really like see how they kind of all roll and what happens. And so yeah, I hope you felt happy with your animals and your spells and all that.
Yeah, you can't plan too hard either, because
once you go dying. Right? Me, like after he got like 3 danger, I was like, I don't think he's making it out of this.
Right? I have to say, and I think the chat will also say this: there is a lot of team Scritch on
Team Scritch and Fetch.
Everybody's
nothing without Fetch.
Everybody's Team Scritch on the chat. So I think.
Well, I know. Back before Fetch, everyone's like, yeah, Team Scritch, but yeah, Team Scritch and Fetch. Once you got that duo going, it was done.
Also, we're really not playing up the stereotypes at all here, Rob. That the 2 Irish people immediately team up.
Sarah!
Oh,
and let's say, remember, magpies care for nobody. So that's, it was all about the witch, and that was it.
I
got the eyes. I'm out.
Dinner though.
I mean,
I got carried away.
Yeah.
I mean, I do absolutely adore that. Literally, a one side of a sheet of paper has created a 3-hour wonderful adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously with your brain as well, Philly and our brains put together. But it's such a great little game. I popped the link in the chat about where you can kind of get this from.
It's a fantastic game. There's a lot of really great one-page RPGs. Like Honey Heist is probably one of the most favorites because they ran it on Critical Role, obviously. You can have a lot of fun with that game. But there's a bunch of great ones. There's one called Lasers and Feelings that I'd love to play. There's just a ton of them out there, but I've been looking at this one for a while. I've never run it before. I've never played it, so I was excited to dig into it. It feels like very D&D adjacent, like Dan was kind of saying in the chat there. Like you could see a version of a D&D game where like you break off to like run this on the side with the familiars, But the simplicity of the system, right, of like this escalating danger, every roll has stakes, and like it's really, really clever. And you all were fantastic. I mean, you made it really easy for me. I barely had to do anything. So
as a player, it's a lot more freeing as well, because if you're playing in a long campaign, you kind of have this character arc that you're building towards, and you're building. But like in a one shot, you can go mad. You can do risks that you wouldn't want. It's freeing. You can really lean into the comedy aspect of it an awful lot more. Like one shots are as a player where you get to do the really batshit insane ideas. I feel.
Absolutely.
What's the maximum danger before death?
There isn't. It's just until you roll under, right? So if you keep accumulating it, like now all of a sudden the dice become more and more dangerous every time you drop them, right? Like if we get to a point that you're at like 5-6 danger, now there's like a 50-60% chance that you're going to come in under it. Gotcha. And like I could have killed you a couple of times, like when who failed their danger rolls, right? I think we had Dinner and Scritch each failed, or Scritch didn't actually.
I know. I never rolled. No, I failed. I accumulated an awful lot of danger, but I never rolled under.
Poor Dinner rolled under.
He rolled a 2 when he had to, but he forgot the +1 to put him over it.
I mean, like, I was fully expecting to die on that last little kind of cannonball thing.
It's one of these things like, and we could talk about it in the DM thing to like ad nauseum, but like multiple fail states, right? Like, I'm not just going to kill you immediately because you failed your danger. It was like, okay, now the guy has the rat and a big knife. Now what? You know what I mean? Like, complicate the situation, right? Create drama. Don't like neuter it or whatever. So yeah.
No, that's what we did to Gaston.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, by the way, Rob. Like, I love playing role-playing games. I just want to say, like, I love meeting new people playing games like this, you know. Like Rob and Joe, I played with you earlier in the week with the City of Mist game, which was wild, and this was, like, really fun to reinforce that. Aidan's, like, a new person, a friend in my life that, like, we've bonded a lot over, like, a D&D table in 5 months. And so for Josh and Chris, like, really, this is a delight, you know. I had such a good time. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to doing it again, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Zed in the chat was going, I don't care, in Glarin there, Raslin's going out and finding a fox.
Yes.
Calling it so.
And I have to say, thank you very, very much to you guys for coming over. And of course, Philly, we're going to see you tomorrow on this channel. Oh, yeah, for Dragonfly, which is going to be insane.
It's going to be rad. I think some of our friends here in the chat might be joining us. I got a bunch of the Dragonfly cast here. Hard Rock Hope will be playing with us tomorrow. Brooklyn Zed. I think Grace might be as well. We're going to see. I'm not 100% sure I have, but a little bit of D&D in space adjacent activities. So that's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited. 1 p.m. Eastern.
I gotta say, if you guys enjoy, then I'll definitely watch the VODs. But right after I log off here, I'm out for some vacation, so I won't be checking out live. So I'll have to watch the VODs. So y'all enjoy it.
And then we've got the wonderful Dan Plummer doing the Rebel Role Players chat after this at 6:00. So that was kind of like the other side to the DM chat that we had yesterday, which is going to be and finally finishing off with Cora Jane. But on Sunday, which is what I'm really looking forward to, we have got Dead of Night with Alex Bell, which I cannot wait for Here Comes the Goose. So that would be a great B-movie RPG to kind of finish off our week. So yeah, if you do want to stick with us. I want to say a massive thank you to DMFilly, you absolute legends.
Oh man,
it's
a pleasure
for joining us. We'll see you guys see everybody in about an hour's time, I suppose. This is anything else you guys want to talk about?
And for me, thanks so much for having me as like a first experience on any form of stream. This couldn't have gone better as far as
I'm so glad. I just want to take one moment, like while we're here, like streaming actually. Like I met Aidan through this community that I've run some podcasts in, post-show recaps. I talk about it a lot. I've mentioned it a few times here. He participated in a musical that I was telling you guys about before we came on live. If it's okay, I'd love to like throw the link here in the chat to the SoundCloud, because for folks who like enjoyed this, I'm telling you guys, your minds will like be blown at what these folks created. You know, it's wild. So I'm gonna dump it in here if that's right, and that's really all. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm excited about it.
Nice one.
Nice.
Well, big love, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Sweet.
Bye-bye.
Farewell. Bye, friends. Bye.